taking on Karrion Kross. So Finn Balor taking on Karrion Kross for the NXT Championship. As well as that, we've got Bronson Reed, obviously coming off his steel cage victory last week. I'm sure we're going to hear from Toni Storm, Zoe Stark. I'm sure that feud's going to continue. Of course, we've got Ted DiBiase. He is going to be on the show face-to-face with Cameron Grimes. We've got Bobby Fish taking on Pete Dunne. We've got Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart taking on Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. And I think that's everything that's been announced. So about 5 or 6 segments, matches that have been announced for tonight. And it seems like a very, very fun show. We've got some fun segments with Ted DiBiase, Cameron Grimes. We've got some great action. I mean, there's no way that Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross is going to disappoint. Bobby Fish and Pete Dunne is such an interesting matchup as well. I'm like really excited to see those two go at it. So that's going to be a lot of fun also. So yeah, we've said, you know, following a difficult Monday, which wasn't as difficult this week, in all fairness. But following a difficult Monday, we normally get Heavenly Tuesday. And that's what we've got, Heavenly Tuesday, coming up right for us tonight. Let me try and jump into the chat. Dylan says Adnan Virk has gone alongside 35 employees. What are your thoughts? Sounding echoey on the mic, people are saying. Echoey on the mic. Never had that before. I honestly don't know why. Let me try and sort the sound and we can talk about the people being released. Let me try. There's nothing here that says that it's echoey. So really not sure why it would be doing that. Maybe I'll just move it back a little bit. Perhaps it's distorting. Does this sound any better at all? You'll have to let me know if that's any better. Because in fairness, it was clipping in the red, which is sort of where we normally are. But yeah, there's no like crazy sound effects that I'm putting on or anything. So I don't know. Perhaps I was a little bit close. So you'll have to let me know if that's any better at all. Mike is really weird, says LSW. It still sounds bad. No better. Okay. Let's have a look. We can fix this. I'm so confident that we can fix this. I mean, I don't know why, because I've never been able to fix anything in my life. But I'm going to give this a very good go. Let's try and we'll disconnect and reconnect. Classic.
The old classic right there. Right, is that any better at all? That is us disconnecting and reconnecting. I can't hear it. By the way, I can't hear it, so I have no idea if it sounds good, bad, same. I don't know. Literally, all I've got is one little bar that literally is just going up and down as I talk. And that is it. So this could be a really exciting new development. I think part of the problem might be that I have to keep using my laptop for certain streams and the PC for others, so I'm constantly switching microphones around. So perhaps it's just going, stop it. Perhaps it's just doing, oh, better now. Okay, good. Hello. Yes, guys, technical dramas. I mean, who would have thought it on a Wrestling Days stream? So, yeah, perhaps it's because I keep having to change the microphones around. It's just really having enough of me now. So, disconnecting, reconnecting. Boom. It's nice to get technical dramas in early, rather than just wait. Because, you know, they're going to strike at some point. It's like when they're going to hit. So, I might as well get them in the first 5 minutes. So, boom, there we go. So, yes, well, basically what I was saying, I don't know if you heard me or not, I was saying Bronson Reed is doing a promo tonight. We got Karrion Kross taking on Finn Balor. We've got Franky Monet making her debut. We've got Bobby Fish taking on Pete Dunne. We've got Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart taking on Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. And Ted DiBiase faces off with Cameron Grimes. Little bit of comedy there, some good action. and plenty to look forward to. So that's the little preview for tonight, about 5 or 6 little segments. In regards to the news, the question was just asked about Adnan Virk, and I think that's his name, isn't it? Is it Adnan? I'm not too sure. So Virk. Anyway, he has sadly gone. Don't like to see people losing their jobs. I understand that he was not a great fit. I hadn't heard that much of him, but what I had heard didn't sound right to me. And I think it's by mutual consent. So not quite sure if they've just done that to protect him, or if he doesn't think it's working, or if there's just been a review after like 6-7 weeks and they've come to this conclusion. Not sure where the truth lies. But, yeah, he has gone. And I've seen a lot of people asking for Tom Phillips to come back, and I think that would be cool. I think that would be the right move. Tom Phillips is as good as anyone that they're going to get, in all fairness, unless they're going to get Mauro Ranallo. But obviously he's got a few mental health issues that seem to kind of limit his willingness to travel and his abilities to travel, really. I think being on the road a lot and being under the spotlight and the pressure and having Vince in your ear and all this kind of stuff, I don't think it was a good fit for Mauro. So, yeah, it's a shame. But hopefully it means we get Tom Phillips, who I always thought did a good job. Obviously, I'd say that's the big news today, because not only did Adnan lose his job, but there was about 30-odd people at the head offices that lost their jobs. And apparently what they've done is they combined 2 separate departments. They've pushed 2 separate departments together, and now that's going to operate underneath Kevin Dunne. He's just going to oversee. So it's like WWE.com, YouTube. There's like big changes in the digital side of the business, and it's resulted in a load of people losing their jobs. So it's awful. It's just awful. And, like, you know, I think these people, hopefully, because of their skills, hopefully will be able to go in and find other work. But now isn't really a great time to be losing your job, because, obviously, there's a lot of people that have lost their jobs because of the pandemic. So now isn't a great time to be losing your job and having to try and find work and all of that. So, yeah, sucks. There's nothing I can say, is there? I mean, I always try to say, when people ask me who do you want to see lose their job in WWE, I always try to say, I don't want to see anyone lose their job. And I genuinely mean it, and I mean it with this as well. I mean, these are just regular people making a living. Like 30-odd people losing their jobs, and sucks, doesn't it? It just sucks. So, yeah, there's not really much you can say to it, to be honest. Where is the Cameron Grimes hat? It's here. I got it right here. There we go. The Cameron Grimes hat. Oh, it makes a noise, actually. I didn't know that. Oh, no, it's this at the front. I thought there was something inside. I was like, what's in there? No, it's this chain here that was making the noise. So, yeah, I've got it there. It's a little tight. So, I said I'd put it on. I'm happy to put it on, but I'll put it on for the Cameron Grimes thing. Because, yeah, it's a bit tight for my head. Kyle says, what do you think the Man U score will be? Well, I'm really up for watching it and doing a stream of it. Like, there's massive Man United channels. Like, we're certainly not looking to compete with those guys. I'm not really doing it for any reason other than we ain't got really anything to watch tomorrow. Normally we watch AEW. There is no AEW tomorrow, so there's this gaping hole in the schedule. I mean, I could have a look at like doing a video instead or something like this, but to be honest, I'm going to be watching that game anyway. So we did the Super Bowl, and I was really tempted to do some other different sports just because the reaction was really positive. Like, I think people had a really good time. So, you know, just for our little community, people are interested in watching it, then I'm like 99% sure we're going to do a stream for it. So, bit weird. Not the kind of thing that we do. No idea how it's going to go, but it's going to be chilled. I mean, literally, We haven't got AEW, so we might as well do something. So we'll watch this final. I'm a Man United fan as well, so it makes sense, doesn't it? Man United in a final. I think their first trophy if they win for 4 years. And obviously I know the team very well. I've followed them since the early 90s. Yeah, my knowledge of it all is pretty good. It's not like the Super Bowl where I don't really know what I'm on about. I kind of feel like I've got a decent knowledge when it comes to football, soccer, because I would say that's probably the sport I'm like most aware of outside of WWE and UFC. Definitely football and soccer, so yeah, I think we'll give it a go. Matthew Lopez, shout out to you, buddy. I don't know anything about soccer/football. That's all right. Febin said, Days, unlike Vince, Triple H does love to keep his stars strong, even in defeat. I'm thinking Kross Balor today ends in some sort of screwy finish, or will Finn lose clean again? I think it depends what they're building towards. If they want to build towards Karrion Kross versus Pete Dunne at the next pay-per-view, then he could win clean. If they want to build towards Finn still being involved, then this will have an interference finish. I personally prefer clean finishes. I think there's something very... I've said before, like, it's something that I've never really enjoyed about wrestling, is the fact that it's presented as people trying to outdo each other in a ring, who's the best, and then there's people that come down and interfere and all of this, and it's just like, if this happened in any other sport, it would be dealt with. Do you know what I mean? Imagine if there was a tennis match between, like, Serena Williams and Osaka. Is her name Naomi Osaka? Like, and then, like, every time they face each other, Vanessa Williams runs onto the pitch going, whoa, stealing the ball and running away. Like, I'm pretty sure they would do something about it. So I was really encouraged, surprised, delighted to hear on Raw that they did the most obvious, simple thing in the world. They turned around to Bobby and went, if you interfere, you're going to be suspended and fined. And he was like, oh, damn. Oh, I can't believe this. No one's ever done this before. Oh, what am I going to do? And that's it, problem solved. So, it's kind of feel like, I don't know what the management are doing, in all fairness. I don't know what pro wrestling has got the worst kayfabe managers in the world. Are they all just sat in catering, just having a chat in a room? Because they don't do anything. So, I kind of feel like, for something like NXT that prides itself on the wrestling, I would keep it clean finishes. I would keep it clean finishes. I think outside interference is just lazy. Lazy! So, let's have a clean finish. Karrion Kross wins. Finn Balor loses. And do you know what? There's no problem with that, because that happens in sports all the time. And teams have to rebuild, regroup, come back, make changes. It's fine. It happens all the time in all sports. So, if Balor loses here clean, it's just going to make Karrion look stronger. Balor obviously would need to go off and, work on where he's gone wrong. But, that only makes the rematch bigger. I don't think they've done the build for this that well, to be honest. I mean, Balor lost, and he hasn't really spoke about why he lost. We don't know what he's changed. We don't know how he's going to win the title back tonight. It feels a little bit rushed. This hasn't been Summit tonight that's been building for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. He just, turned up, was it last week before, and said, when do I get my rematch? And the match was made, basically. But the whole psychology side of it, the bit that I think really complements the match, a lot of that is missing. And I don't know if they're having to hotshot at the moment because ratings haven't been brilliant. I think there was always an excuse when it was NXT against AEW that, we're battling against Jericho, we're battling against Hardy, we're battling against Jake the Snake, we're battling against JR, we're battling against Moxley, we're battling against Omega, blah, 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 blah. Well, you're not doing that now. You're not battling against any wrestling promotion. So, Why are we down at 680,000 views on a Tuesday for NXT? So I think there's a bit of hotshot in. I think there's a bit of promotion work that's being done. Have you seen the past few weeks? They've really used Raw. I'd say the past 3 weeks or so. Raw has really been like giving NXT a fair few segments. So I think there's a few little tweaks and changes that have been brought in to boost them ratings up. And I think this match has been a little bit hot-shotted. So as a result, could we get some outside interference? Sure. Personally, I hope not. I think it would just be so much better if it was clean. So much better if it was clean. And I've said many, many times, that's one of the things I've always loved and appreciated and respected about NXT is the fact that the old NXT, when it was on the WWE Network, it was a developmental brand. And, obviously the stories mattered. And obviously there were some great stories, great shows, great matches. But it didn't really matter if you was losing because it was developmental. I mean, you would the end goal was to win the championship, of course, but really the end goal is to get called up. So when you get called up, it's kind of hit the refresh button, like whatever happens in NXT, well, whatever. Now it's a third brand. Oh, it's a bit different, isn't it? So since it came onto the network, from the network onto the USA network, since it went to 2 hours, all that kind of stuff, it's had this identity crisis as well. And yeah, you're not wrong. There's a chance that we could get outside interference tonight. I just hope not. Whackin' Uribe said, "What's your favourite NXT wrestler?" Mine is Grimes. I would say Volta if he counts. If not, then I'm into maybe Zoe Stark right now. Yeah, maybe Zoe Stark right now. I really genuinely get quite excited for her matches. There's quite a few things going on in NXT that I really enjoy. I like what The Way are doing, their little comedy segments. I like the Cameron Grimes, Ted DiBiase stuff. I like Karrion. I think he's grown on me a lot. So I like Karrion. I like Dexter's all right. I feel like Dexter stalled a little bit. I kind of feel like he was really cool at first, and don't know, now they're using him more in this kind of comedy role. They've kind of changed Dexter a touch. Now he's doing this Indy Hartwell stuff, which is fun, but I don't know if he's the killer that we first were introduced to, you know. So I'm not saying that's a bad move. I'm just saying they've clearly changed path with him. But yeah, I'd say Volta. I'd say Zoe Stark. Really like The Way. Pete Dunne, I'll always have a soft spot for. I just wish his promos would improve. And that's about it that comes to mind first of all. Favourite NXT superstar? William Regal. That should be the answer. That should be everyone's answer. Favourite NXT superstar? William Regal. Days Profits versus Usos is a dream match, but I know it won't be a proper match because Jay will betray him after what Roman whispered to him. But I'm fine with it because it could set up Jay versus Jimmy inside Hell in a Cell. Shout out to you, Harley. Hope you are well. YT, you're trash, says, did you know it was 2 years ago today that Jon Moxley made his AEW debut? Beautiful. Hero, says Big Boy Dally. Amir El Shazli says, Days, will you stream the Europa League final between Manchester United and Villarreal tomorrow? And will you stream the Champions League final between Manchester City and Chelsea on the 29th of May? So I think there's a 99% chance we're doing tomorrow. The only thing I've not looked at is where is the match. I don't actually know what channel it's being shown on. It might be like Sky or BT Sport, or I honestly don't know. So I need to find the match. But it's going to be shown, of course. So, yeah, I think there's I said 99% chance that we do that tomorrow because there is no AEW. And the Champions League final, I have to admit, probably not. The reason why I say that is because that, I believe, starts at about 8 o'clock on Saturday. And then I think, doesn't Double or Nothing start at like midnight or something like this? And honestly, we tend to start a good half an hour before. So that pretty much means that we would be going from 8 o'clock through till, I don't even know what time, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. That's 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. That could be like an 8-hour stream, which is just madness. And the two things don't really connect. So in a way, I kind of think I'd have to do them as two separate streams. So I kind of feel like I'd be burning myself out. We'd be doing two separate streams. I really don't know how much demand there's going to be from me and from this channel to do a Champions League final. I mean, make no mistake about it. Tomorrow is just there's not really anything else to do. So you might as well. I'm going to watch this game anyway, so might as well. But, yeah, I would say, unless like tomorrow goes crazy and it turns out there's mad demand and people love it and it just goes wild, then I'd be like, okay, maybe we should do the Champions League final. Gotta be honest, I'm not expecting tomorrow to be that big of a stream. I'm kind of expecting it to be just me and a few people that are interested in football. So, as a result, I think I'd rather not burn myself out doing the Champions League final and then go straight into Double or Nothing. I think I'd rather just start nice and early with Double or Nothing, do the predictions. Because I haven't done predictions for it. Don't even think I'm doing predictions for it. I don't know. So we might just start early and do all that. But yeah, I'm really not expecting much from tomorrow. AEW on Friday. Remember, definitely not AEW. Double or Nothing is on Sunday. I think it's Sunday morning, isn't it? Isn't it Sunday morning? Isn't it like 1 in the morning on Sunday morning, which would be just a couple of hours after Saturday? If it was a case that like the Champions League final was, say, Saturday and there was nothing on, and then AEW is like the next night, 24 hours later, then we're talking a different situation. But I don't think it is. I think it's the Champions League match on Saturday night, and then I think early Sunday morning here in the UK is Double or Nothing, which would mean it's basically just a few hours after. Johnny said, I hope Tom Phillips comes back to Monday Night Raw. Do you hope so? Yes. Yeah, I'd like to see that. Amir said about 8 hours of streaming, that means my battery will go out about 4 times during the stream. It means my battery will go out 4 times during the stream as well. There'll be times where I'm like, yeah, and I might not cope very well. We need to talk about Finn Balor. We've got to, guys. We can't keep ignoring this. We need to talk about Finn Balor. He has come out and spoken about, does he want to go back to Raw and SmackDown? He has come out and spoken about the Demon King and said, is there a future for it? And we need to talk about it because his answers were very, very interesting. He said he wants to go back to Raw and SmackDown. He is not looking to stay in NXT forever. He grew up a WWE fan. He loves the pay-per-views, WrestleMania, all that kind of stuff. And that's where he wants to be. So he said that he wanted to go and find himself again. And he's worked very hard to do that. And he's now the Prince, which I think he had the Prince name when he was on the main roster, but it's clear that he's done a lot of work. His promos are incredible. His in-ring style is more aggressive. In fact, he's more aggressive as a character, more focused, more aggressive. He's kind of toned down the babyface side of the character, and maybe embraced a bit more of the heel side, but I think he's just a lone wolf, really. I think he is just out for himself and, does what he needs to do. And he said that he is interested to go back to Raw and SmackDown, which I think is very interesting because if someone had asked me, like, would he want to go back, I'd be like, I'm not sure. he loves wrestling. He's got a good thing going. Is being used well. He can help younger talent. He's just got married. He probably wants to spend loads of time with his wife rather than being on the road. I mean, why would you want to be on the road if you didn't have to be on the road? So my gut feeling was that he didn't want to. So what a surprise to hear him go, yeah, I'd like to go back. So I don't know when that's going to happen, but can you imagine when he does? Can you imagine when he does? That's a main event level star coming back, which is going to be awesome. And he spoke about the Demon King, and he said that he doesn't think Demon King's done. He says there's things probably that the Demon King can do, but he wanted to go to NXT. He wanted to work on his persona and his character, his current character, and he's happy that he's done that. So really interesting. If you get a chance to read, I think I saw this. It was like an article on No DQ. So if you get a chance to read it, I mean, it basically says what I just said, but it's very interesting all the same. Finn got injured. His main roster run was cut short, says Sean Rossett. Shout out to you, Sean. Hope you are well. Which title should he go for? The WWE Championship or Universal Championship? I think that he should go for the WWE Championship because I think it's difficult to get that belt off Roman. Balor wouldn't be the worst because he's been away for so long, and he's only had one little run. I mean, like he's had one run with the world title. He was the first ever Universal Champion, so he could go back for the belt that he always believes is his, because he only held it for like less than 24 hours. But it's going to be hard to get it off Roman. If Finn was the one to win, I wouldn't mind that. I do want it to build up a new star, but I mean, someone like Big E is a star anyway, but just not main event level. But I would argue Finn Balor is not main event level because when was the last time he was in a main event? When was the last time he was on the main roster? He hasn't been on the main roster since 2019. He was last on the main roster at SummerSlam when he lost to The Fiend at 2019. And I might have made the odd appearance at like a Survivor Series or something, or in a Rumble. But, yeah, I mean, he's been gone actively, consistently from the main roster since then. So, I suppose in a way I wouldn't be down on Finn Balor being the one to beat Roman, now I think about it. But I think I would probably put him on Raw, because I think Raw needs him. And I said before, I think you could do a really interesting program between him and Bray. I wouldn't do it long, but just like it'd be a good way to bring him back. I kind of think you can't really ignore how he left, so you're gonna have to continue that story. So yeah, you could just do, get a good month or two out of that. Maybe not even that long, maybe a month. But I would basically have it whereby it all builds and leads to the rematch, and I'd do it where it builds to the rematch. And I've said before, I would have it whereby Balor is winning against The Fiend, and I know that's going to upset people, but I'll throw you a bone. Fiend fans out there, I'll throw you a bone. He doesn't win. I would have it whereby The Fiend stands in the ring after a really good match between the two of them, and Fiend just looks at him and nods. Lights go out, the come on, and The Fiend's gone. Right? Now, I know everyone's going to go, that sucks. That sucks. I understand. But I kind of think you can't really give The Fiend another loss, right? You can't give The Fiend another loss, so you can't go that way. I don't want it to be a count-out or a DQ. You can't have Balor lose on his return to the main roster. But I like the fact that The Fiend beat Balor quite convincingly at SummerSlam. So in the rematch, you could have it whereby Balor has gone away. He's really improved. He comes back, and there's just a nod of it, right? you're not the same person that I wrestled at SummerSlam. Like, the Fiend's nodding, going, yeah, something's changed here. You know, and what would happen if the match continued? Would Balor win? Would Fiend win? You could always go back to it further down the road, but that would be it then. Do you know what I mean? Balor has stood up to the Fiend. Fiend doesn't lose. Balor doesn't lose. Balor can go off into a different feud. Fiend can go into a different feud. You've not completely ignored what happened in the past with Balor leaving. So I kind of feel like there's quite a few ticks there. Because you can't have Fiend go over Balor on his first feud back after being away since 2019. That's how he left. So you can't have Fiend go over Balor. I don't think you can ignore it. You can't really have Fiend lose either, because he's, you know, we don't see that much of him, and he had one match this year and he lost it. So you can't book that. So yeah, it's a bit of a conundrum, but I would do that. That's how I would get out of that problem. And then off they go into different feuds, and then I'd build towards Finn going for the belt, or, you know, whatever. And I don't know who Fiend would go after, in all fairness. I'd want something that plays into the history again. So I'd have a look and see who does Bray need revenge against. And you can find compelling stories for a lot. What I think what Fiend fans would like would be a really good program, feud, good Funhouse episodes, and maybe even if it was someone at first you go, why is he attacking him? Like, why is he going after him? Why is Fiend going after him? Let's say, I'm trying to think of someone off the top of my head that's on Raw. Say, Cedric Alexander, right? So, Fiend goes after Cedric Alexander. Everyone's like, why is he going after Cedric Alexander? And they can do Funhouse episodes, all this kind of stuff. And then he reveals why, and you'll easily find something in their history where there was a moment that happened that you can blow out of proportion and say this is the moment where things changed, or that spot that you had in that match was meant to be mine and you took it away from me, or whatever. Yeah, you can find something. So I'd be looking at doing something along those lines. And I'm not saying Cedric Alexander for any particular reason. You'd want someone that's got a real reason, something that's, you know, a bit of footage that you can show. Maybe Cedric threw Bray out of a Royal Rumble. Do you know what I mean? Something like this. And you can go back and go, you want to know why? This is why. And then you show it on screen, and you show Bray being eliminated from the 2017 Royal Rumble by Cedric Alexander. And then all of a sudden everyone goes, oh! Boom. Wonderful. Feud makes sense. You didn't expect it to be that person. It's going to really help someone like Cedric to be in a feud like that. It's a winnable feud for The Fiend. They could do Funhouse episodes on it. Blah, 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 blah. Keeps him away from the title picture for a while. And that's it. I'd go that way. So, yeah, Finn coming back to the main roster should be very, very interesting. Don't know when that's going to happen, but there's been rumours that they're looking to call up Io Shirai, Finn Balor in particular. Kind of makes sense, because what more can Io do at this stage? Io is, you know, just, not going to go back for the women's title, I wouldn't imagine. I'd imagine they're going to keep that on Raquel Gonzalez for a while and do a feud with Dakota, ultimately. So I can't see Io going back to that belt, so it makes sense to call Io up. I don't know how they're going to use her, in all fairness, because I don't think she's the kind of performer that Vince really appreciates. She's quite small. She doesn't speak English. She is sort of like the female Ricochet in many ways, but only Ricochet can speak English. She's small. She's a high flyer, and add in the fact that she doesn't speak English. I don't know. Sometimes I do look at WWE's recruitment and you kind of go, wonder why they even hired that person. Like, why have they hired, like, Sarray? Because I don't know if Sarray's going to, like, do that well on the main roster. Who knows? She might learn English. I don't know how her English is. But if you don't speak English and you're not the biggest of superstars, you're not really going to get on in Vince's eyes. mean, look at Asuka. Asuka's main roster run it's been all right, but it's had its ups and downs. It's really had its ups and downs. So, yeah, there's a few people. Timothy Thatcher would be another. Why did they hire Timothy Thatcher? Like, he doesn't really work on the main roster. Drew Gulak. Why did they hire Drew Gulak? He doesn't really work on the main roster. Kind of feels like NXT is so different from Raw and SmackDown. So different. It's weird in a way. You would think that NXT, what with it being the developmental for Raw and SmackDown, would be a bit more like Raw and SmackDown. Kind of feels like they want a real wrestling brand. And it just so happens they've turned their developmental brand into it, rather than just create a new wrestling brand, which could be a really good way forward, thinking about it. Imagine if there was a new brand that came along that just focused on great in-ring action. Didn't worry so much about the gimmicks and all of that, just great in-ring action. And that's where your Timothy Thatchers and Io Shirai's and all those people go to work. Could be really cool. Maybe that's what Diamond Mine is. I don't know. Still need answers on that as well. Dream matches. Deeb versus Stark. Retribution versus Hero. Hey, that guy in Hero. He is the guy out of that Treasures program. And every time I watch that now, I can't help but think about Hit Row and Top Dollar and Be Fabulous and whatever else they're called. R.I.P. Larry Steve, says John Cena Gamer. Alexander said NXT is that brand that worries about in-ring action, though. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Isn't it weird? Isn't it strange that NXT is the brand that worries about in-ring action, and then they get called up to two brands that really don't? Like, this is still meant to be their developmental brand. Like, Bronson Reed wants to go to Raw and SmackDown. Like, Candice LeRae wants to go to Raw and SmackDown. And, Karrion and Scarlett want to go to Raw and SmackDown. People join, go to NXT, and then move on to Raw and SmackDown. But it's just so strange that NXT is so different from Raw and SmackDown. This is meant to be the brand that kind of prepares them for Raw and SmackDown. And, I don't know, you could make, like, a new NXT that focuses just on wrestling, and those people aren't getting ready to go to Raw and SmackDown. They're just there to put on great wrestling shows week in, week out. And then you could have an NXT that's maybe a little bit more like Raw and SmackDown. Maybe NXT is wrestling, and then maybe you bring in a different one. I don't know. Because I look at people like Io Shirai and Timothy Thatcher in particular, and I'm just like, feel a bit sorry for them. I just struggle to see them really getting on Raw and SmackDown, because I don't think they're sports entertainment enough, let's put it that way. Double or Nothing is on at 1 a.m. on Monday. Oh, is it? I thought it was early hours of Sunday. Let's have a look. Is it really? I'm sure I checked something and it said it was on early hours of start time. AEW Double or Nothing. Hero. Yeah, this is what I read. Look, let me show you where my confusion has come from. Look, it says Double or Nothing takes place on Sunday with a start time of 1 a.m. for those of us in the UK. Double or Nothing takes place on Sunday, 30th of May, with the start time of 1 a.m. So that says to me that's 1 a.m. on Sunday. But you're telling me it's 1 a.m. on Monday. Yeah, I got Hit Row in my head now. I'll have to look into that. There seems to be, certainly confusion from me as to what time it starts. NXT has better creative, better promos, better pay-per-views, better video packages than the main roster. Jeremy said, could you see any NXT UK stars coming over to the US? Yeah, sure. I mean, I kind of feel like NXT UK feeds NXT, which feeds Raw and SmackDown. So we've seen Pete Dunne go from NXT UK into NXT. We started seeing Jordan Devlin doing the same. We've seen grizzled young veterans doing the same. We've seen Rhea Ripley doing the same. So you go to NXT UK, you make a name for yourself, you boss it, you then go to NXT, and then you go to Raw and SmackDown. So yeah, it probably is time for maybe a few more to come over. But I don't know who that would be. Maybe Tyler Bate. I don't think Volta wants to. Can't remember the name of that tag team. I can't remember that tag. Are they the tag champs? They're two blonde guys, which I honestly don't know much about because I think they joined like during the pandemic or maybe just before, and I haven't seen that much of them because obviously during the pandemic there wasn't really any shows from NXT UK. So yeah, maybe we are due some coming over. Maybe Kaylee Ray. I mean, how long is she going to be a women's champion NXT UK for? But it's hard to know when they're going to do that because obviously we've still got the pandemic around. So yeah, I don't know when they're going to pull the trigger on it. Febin said, Days, I can already see that Vince booking Scarlett to betray Kross like Lana did on Rusev when they arrive on the main roster. Do you think Vince will do it? He does enjoy such stuff. Lana didn't really betray Rusev for a long time. So, could she do it ultimately? Sure. I mean, Sable betrayed Mark Mero. Sonny betrayed the Body Donners. Lana betrayed Rusev. Zelina Vega expanded her stable with bringing in Angel Garza. I don't know if she ever really betrayed Andrade. I think he might have betrayed her towards the end. So, yeah, sure. I could see him eventually, but not for like years and years. So, they're a really good package together, and yeah, they'll get called up together and be together for quite a while, I think. Someone says Pretty Deadly. That's it. Thank you. Pretty Deadly. I don't know much about those guys, but they've got a great look. They look really cool. They carry themselves like a proper tag team, and I've heard good stuff about them. So Pretty Deadly would be a group that I'd have an eye on. I'd have an eye on Pretty Deadly. I'd have an eye on Tyler Bate. Maybe Trent Seven as well. I'd have an eye on Kaylee Ray. Those are just a few names off the top of my head from NXT UK. There could be some others a little lower down the totem pole. You know, people like... what was that dude's name? I can't remember. The big guy from the West Midlands. I should know his name. Mastiff. Dave Mastiff. I don't know what he's doing, actually. I haven't seen Dave Mastiff in a while. Days, do you remember when Main Event was a show and that one match, CM Punk versus Sheamus? YT, your trash, shout out to you. Main Event, yeah? Is that still not going? I thought that was still going. I mean, I never watched it, but yeah, I thought it was still going. NXT UK has got an exciting future, says High Flyer. Amir El Shazli said, so if Double or Nothing happens on Monday, is there a chance for the Champion League? I'm sorry for asking so much. Potentially. I honestly, I don't know. This is information that I'm literally just finding out live on stream. So I honestly don't know. Because I honestly don't know what else is on a Saturday. I would think there would be more options on a Saturday, but it drastically increases the chances of us doing it if there is nothing else on. So, I mean, how strange if there's nothing else on a Saturday. So, yeah, I need to look into it. Johnny, shout out to you. Daniel said, our phones in the UK might change that day to Sunday because it will be a Sunday to us starting at 1 a.m. Whoa. Harley said, Days, TLC and Extreme Rules is very kind to Japanese. Shinsuke is undefeated at Extreme Rules 3-0. Asuka is undefeated 4-0. Let's forget about the WrestleMania records. AJ said, Days, could you see a potential triple threat match between Black, Fiend, and Demon? Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Right now, they're all on different brands. I mean, right now, they couldn't be further away from each other. They're all three on 3 separate brands. So they would all have to get onto the same brand. They would then have to all be involved in the same feud in order for that to happen. So if Vince wants it, it'll happen. Robin said, Days, will we ever get Balor versus Volta? We were meant to get it, weren't we? We were meant to get it, but I think wasn't that match lined up for like NXT TakeOver, NXT UK TakeOver that never happened? So I don't know now what they're going to do with that. I would think it's something that they would revisit because they advertised it, and there's not really a need to move on from it. Unless Finn Balor is literally on the verge of being called up. It's a match that you could do still. He's still down in NXT. Volta is still the champion. I don't think Volta's going anywhere. The only thing I think would be if Balor gets called up. But because they were going to do it, then yeah, I think it's something that we could end up getting. Deception Hunter said, did you ever watch original ECW? If so, what were your 3 favourite wrestlers? I didn't. I was hardcore WWE. I wasn't even watching WCW. I was WWE. So I wasn't watching ECW. But I have watched some since it was on the network. We've watched a couple of pay-per-views as watch-alongs as well. I've got a decent knowledge of the promotion. Like, I could get by in a conversation on it, but I don't know if my answer's going to be the best because, as I said, I'm not a hardcore, passionate ECW fan. It was never really my thing, but I have been impressed with the shows we've watched, by the way. I said that during, was it One Night Stand we watched? I think we watched Barely Legal from 97 as well, which was good. So, the names that come to mind, Sandman. Sandman was always really cool. So, Sandman I really liked. Sabu is someone that comes to mind. Isn't that where Ray started, didn't he? Didn't Ray, do work in ECW? I'd love to watch some more of Ray's matches in ECW, in all fairness. Because I have definitely not seen that many Rey Mysterio ECW matches. I don't know if I could say he's one of my favourites, but if I think about proper ECW, then I'm thinking Sandman, I'm thinking Sabu, and I'm thinking maybe Terry Funk. I mean, the fact that he was able to reinvent himself. Terry Funk was a proper NWA World Champion, proper wrestler. Harley Race, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, an absolute legend, former NWA champion, great wrestler, and then reinvented himself as he got older into this proper hardcore ECW wrestler. It'd be like Ric Flair going to ECW and doing thumbtacks and barbed wire and all this. He really jumped into that world. And he really took to it, and he was having death matches over in Japan and all this kind of stuff. So the fact that he was able to kind of evolve and reinvent himself, and gotta give credit to Terry Funk for that. So I'd probably chuck Terry Funk in there also. We got 9 minutes. 9 minutes. And then we are going to this week's NXT. Regia Productions says, pray for Alexa Bliss and her family. R.I.P. Larry. I did see that news, by the way, and it's obviously very personal to her and very sad news. Her pet passing away, and she put a little video out, which, you could see that she'd been crying and she'd been upset. And it's just sad, isn't it? It's sad when you lose a pet. So, yeah, sad news for her. Edward said, please read Days. Was wondering where I was at. If so, making merch ideas for WEP. Did you miss me? I am here. Edward, shout out to you. Welcome. Joining us with 8 minutes to go till we go to NXT. Andros Hunter said, did you see Tyler Bate won the Heritage Cup? I didn't see the match. I heard the news. That's good. I mean, to be honest, don't know much about the Heritage Cup. As far as I know, there was one tournament. A-Kid, I think, was the first winner. I didn't realise this was something that could be won, passed around. I kind of thought it was like King of the Ring, where you maybe held it for a year and then we do the tournament again next year. So it's sort of a mid-card title in a way, isn't it? How interesting. It's sort of a mid-card title thing, but it's a big Heritage Cup instead. So, yeah, I don't know. Don't really know what to make of it. It's cool, I suppose. Just a bit strange that it's not a mid-card. But saying that, we've spoke before about how NXT used to have, I think when it was FCW, they had a mid-card title that was a medal. And it wasn't a belt. It was a medal, and you won this medal. And I think the matches had a certain stipulation, but I forget what it was. Like, they went for 15 minutes and that was it. Or they were 15-minute Iron Man matches, or there was something like this. Like, how many falls can you get within that time? So they had a little medal. So, yeah, I suppose it's just a different way at looking at a mid-card kind of title, really. But, yeah, interesting. Deception Hunter says, Rhino in ECW was a complete beast. Double or Nothing starts 80 p.m. in Jacksonville, which is 1 a.m. Monday morning, says Bonkers. Jeremy says, should WWE bring back the European Championships? People have asked this before. My personal take on this is no, because the European Championship should represent the best of Europe, and I kind of feel like we've got that already, which is NXT UK. There are no other WWE promotions in Europe. If we had an NXT Italy, an NXT France, an NXT UK, an NXT Norway, an NXT Sweden, an NXT Holland, an NXT Spain, NXT Portugal, blah, 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 and you had one European champion that was basically going to be Volta. I mean, let's say it would be Volta, right? So, Volta's the European champion. So, Tyler Bates, the NXT UK champ. A-Kid's the NXT Spain champ. Like, you've got all your little promotions. They obviously are the big WWE promotion in that country, all in Europe. And then you've got the European champion. Like, if you could do that and get there, that would be such a great way to use Volta. Be such a great way to use Volta. But I don't know how popular wrestling is, pro wrestling is in some of these countries. Like, it's good few countries there that WWE don't ever visit. Like, I don't know the last time WWE went to Spain or Portugal, or, I mean, if they've been to Italy, it's probably been Rome, like once, twice, something like this. Like, if ever they come to Europe, it's pretty much the UK that they'll do. They might go to, like, Hamburg or Berlin in Germany. They might do, like, Rome. They may do Paris, but, I mean, these are just one shows. One show here, one show there, whatever. The bulk of the tour is, like, London, Sheffield, Manchester, Birmingham, like, Edinburgh. Like, it's the UK. So I wouldn't do the European title unless it was going to be your big title in NXT UK, but then that gets a bit confusing. So, and I wouldn't bring it back to Raw or SmackDown or NXT. The belt just never made sense to me. It didn't really make any sense. Like, it just didn't make sense. And we started to have, like, Canadians and Americans carrying it, and it just didn't make any sense. It's a title to me that should just be defended over in Europe, really. If you're the European champion, then you're the best from Europe, surely. Harry Richard said, Days, I'm nervous for the game tomorrow. If we play Fred and McTominay in midfield, we'll lack creativity. If Ollie plays Pogba in midfield, it'll give us creativity to go forward. What's your thoughts? Well, we'll talk about it tomorrow, but he will play Fred and McTominay in the double pivot. He'll put Pogba most likely on the left. It's a position that he's played him in quite a lot. So you still get the creativity of Pogba, but you get that extra protection for the defence, and it doesn't look like we've got Maguire. So I think he's just gonna go with the team that you're expecting, really. The centre backs will probably be Lindelof and Bailly. I don't think he'll bring in Twanzebe, but I think Fred, McTominay, Pogba, Fernandes, Greenwood, and Cavani. Maybe Rashford on the bench, just, someone that you can bring in if we need it. But I would imagine that Villarreal are going to be well disciplined, hard to break down. I think we're going to have patience, and I think I can't see him really changing from that double pivot. So, but we can talk about it tomorrow. Daniel said, I'm pretty sure you have UFC Fight Pass. Yes. Have you ever gone back and watched some of the wars over the years? The first fight I went to was Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald. I have. I mean, I've gone back and watched a lot because whenever it's time for UFC, I always do my research, and that research every week takes about 15 hours. I mean, I will spend a lot of Thursday night, Friday night researching for the forthcoming UFC show. And that involves a lot of watching Fight Pass. So, but I can't say I've really gone back and watched tons outside of doing that research. But I have been watching UFC for quite a long time. So there's quite a lot that I've just naturally seen anyway. The only problem is there's so much that I've seen. And there's so many fights week after week after week. I mean, every week you tend to get like 12 fights, 13 fights. It's just so hard to remember. Like, every match that you see. I mean, if people were to ask me about a certain fight that took place this year, I would really struggle to recall it unless it was something very significant. Like, if people are talking about main events, then that's fine. But once we start talking about, like, lower down the card kind of stuff, it's like, it becomes really difficult. So, yeah, there's just so much. But, no, yeah, I would like to go back and watch a few bits and bobs. Certainly more the 90s stuff, to be honest. Because I got into it... I was into it around 2000, 2002-ish. But I really got into it about 2010. So I would say anything pre-2010, I probably could do more research on. So... Right, we are going over to NXT. I can't wait for Hell in a Cell pre-booking video. High Flyer, shout out to you. It's time. It is time. NXT time. Right, we're just seeing... So Balor saying now he gets his chance to right his wrongs. There's Heyman. Days, have you seen Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz fights? Not the recent one. Yes. Yes, they are classics. Alex said, on WWE's The Bump, Ray and Dominic RJ City, Shinsuke Nakamura, and the Professor Nick Harrison. No moan meter. I don't think we need it for a Tuesday, do we? Tend to be pretty positive. I would imagine the moan meter is something that we need more for Raw than any other show. Balor versus Kross tonight is going to be so hard, says Highflyer. Kross versus Balor 2, yeah, so we've got a nice little video package. Liam, shout out to you. Austin says, we always need a moan meter. Only got introduced yesterday. We can't cope without it. How are we meant to do a stream without the thing that we introduced yesterday? Right, Balor Kross, graphic on screen. Not sure what we're going to first of all. Certainly got that big fight feel. Vic Joseph saying this place is rocking. Must be Blue Wednesday. Look at them all in their little blue suits. Must be like a Smurfs appreciation evening. I really like this commentary team. Franky Monet making her in-ring debut. The $1 million face-off. Ha ha ha. Money, 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 money. Ted DiBiase, Cameron Grimes. Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon taking on Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Do you reckon there'll be a little bit more... Are we going to that now? Do you think there'll be a bit more dissension between Dakota and Raquel? That's what I'm looking for here. Shotzi and Ember versus Raquel and Dakota. Ember Moon and Shotzi. Performance of the year for me is, yeah, definitely, I agree. That Holloway thing, it still blows my mind. Still blows my mind. Vape Ross Vape says, my wife has got a moan meter and it's still at 10. Well, I don't think there's been any reason to complain at this stage. As I said, I don't feel that we moan all that much on a Tuesday. Monday, like we need it. Things can get out of control. But now I'm up for this. I'm expecting, what am I expecting? Shotzi and Ember to win. And Raquel and Dakota to have a little bit of a falling out. That's what I'm expecting. I forgot they lost the titles. Yeah, I forgot they lost the titles as well, actually. Yeah, I forgot they lost the titles. I didn't quite know what you was referring to then. I thought you meant Dakota and Raquel. But no, you're right. Yeah, it's so weird, isn't it? They didn't even really have them all that long. But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it is. I forgot that. Does anyone see Balor coming out as Demon Balor tonight? I don't personally. Okay, so we're about to get underway with our first match here. Women's tag match. Women's tag matches everywhere these days, aren't there? We're ending Raw with a women's tag match. We're starting NXT. The last match I saw was a women's tag match. The first match I'm seeing now is a women's tag match. They're everywhere, like buses. Anyone else thinking of going back to a live event soon? Asks Highflyer. Lone Star Friend says, I usually don't watch NXT, but I'm here for that $1 million face-off and the Finn Balor match. Well, welcome. I think this is an episode that will do quite well in the ratings, actually. I think they did a pretty decent job of building it up on Raw. $1 Million Man is obviously a legend, and there's big rumours that the $1 Million Championship's going to be introduced to NXT. So, looking forward to seeing that. Lovely. Look at that. It's like a Hurricanrana, like a Frankensteiner. Nice roll up by Ember Moon. Ember Moon all over Raquel Gonzalez, and Ember Moon pointing out that she was that close. That close. Ember Moon jumping in. Raquel Gonzalez going after her. Against the ropes goes Ember Moon. Crossbody, but she catches her. The NXT tag will be much better, says Butterspark. Do you think AJ Lee will be in 2K22? I don't think so. I'd be very surprised at that. I don't think she really wants anything to do with wrestling anymore. I mean, I don't know, if they went to her and said, we'll give you a load of money if we can use your likeness in this game. You haven't got to do anything. Would she agree to that? I don't know. She might still be upset that they sent her the release papers during her wedding. So, I don't know. I can't say I'm expecting it. We got Shotzi and Dakota in there right now. Shotzi charging into Dakota, throwing Dakota down. Bulldog. Against the ropes. 1, 2. NXT have got the best women's roster, says David Conley. Brony said, do you agree Dakota Kai is holding Raquel Gonzalez back a bit and that Raquel should go solo? Yes and no. I think that Dakota was massive for Raquel in getting her where she is now. Because, don't forget, Raquel was the one that was the star. And, Dakota was the one that was the star. And Raquel was completely unknown. Like, we really didn't know much about her. So she's gone from being relatively unknown to being the champion. And Dakota's obviously massively helped in all of that. So I would still continue to keep them together for a while, but I really am expecting the split to be teased. Cloverleaf by Shotzi. But, yeah, we are getting closer to the point where I think they will turn on each other. Or Dakota will turn on Raquel. Raquel Gonzalez grabbing Dakota, dragging her to the edge of the ring. Tag is made. Dakota flops to the outside. Raquel Gonzalez comes in. So, elbows being dropped and driven down. Paul Carpenter says, I believe that Dakota was supposed to be women's champion, but someone in the back did a switcheroo. Commercial break. Big Boy Dally said, Cameron Grimes' hat doesn't fit. In other words, Daisy's head is huge. Yeah, well, all that wrestling knowledge has got to go somewhere. So I'm sure it won't come as a surprise that my head is... I don't think it will surprise anyone that I've got a big head. That will not surprise anyone. So, yeah, it is quite big. Which I didn't even realise, to tell the truth, but I don't know if my head's big or if WWE Shop just have, like, small sizes. Because I've even got the Shotzi helmet, and that's really tight as well. So, I don't know if these are, like, aimed more at, like, youngsters or something, or if I am just got a big head. I don't know. Robin said, this is a good match so far. Corey said, I think Raquel's going to turn on Dakota, not Dakota turning on Raquel. Brony said, that's true. But now Raquel is a much bigger star. I feel that she should go solo. She's the NXT Women's Champ as well. I don't think her in a tag team is the right move for her title run. It's good points. Good points all round. I just saw that Adnan Virk has left Raw. He has, yes. By mutual consent, apparently. Is it wrong that I laugh whenever he says he's got a big head? No, I think that's to be accepted and expected. Hoping that Charlotte shows up dressed as Cruella de Vil tonight and steals the dog. Oh, Franky Monet's dog. I was like, what dog? And I was like, has someone got a dog? Who's got a dog? The big dog? And then my brain went, Franky Monet. Who would you bring back? WWE, Rose, or Enzo? Rose. Who's Rose? Rosa Mendez? Adam Rose? Adam Rose? I'm gonna guess you mean Adam Rose. Or Enzo. I mean, Enzo could talk, but he couldn't wrestle, really. He wasn't great in the ring. He got a bit annoying, didn't he, as well? Whereas I think Adam Rose, you might be able to find a different gimmick for him. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. Adam Rose or Enzo Amore? Who would I bring back? I'd probably bring back... Adam Rose. Because he had a good character in Leo Kruger, who was quite an interesting character. And then they completely abandoned it and they went with him and the Rosebuds, which is just a bad gimmick. But I think you could probably find something for Adam Rose. I think you could find a gimmick for him that would work. And I think he could do something quite interesting with Adam Rose. I think with Enzo, you're going to struggle to find him any gimmick other than him being what he was, which was a talker. And he could talk, but I don't think you can really do anything else with Enzo other than that. That's his big strength. So I think I'd be a bit more limited if I brought Enzo back. Whereas if I brought back Adam Rose, I think there's a lot of different gimmicks that I could look to do with him. So I'd go Adam Rose. Ember charging over. People may neither, says Burspark. I was going to say, people might disagree because obviously Enzo was more popular. He was more entertaining. But I think for me it comes down to the fact that I think you saw the best version of Enzo. I think they did a good job of getting as much out of Enzo as they could. I don't think they even got close with Adam Rose. I don't think you saw what Adam Rose can do. But I think you saw the best version of Enzo. So I would bring Adam Rose back. Or I might just go with what Butterspark says and go neither. Adam Rose retired. Enzo is always getting hurt or in trouble, says Paul. Enzo can wrestle now, says Chris. I haven't seen him recently, in all fairness. I know he went off and did his hip-hop stuff, didn't he? 15 minutes into this show already. First match is alright. Shotzi's got Dakota up on her shoulders. And facebuster. 1, 2. Shoulder up by Dakota. So Dakota clinging on. Dakota getting hurled into the corner. In comes Ember. Dakota's really good at selling. I think she's really good at selling. Crossbody by Shotzi. Raquel goes down. Nice kick by Dakota. Ooh, she got caught. It's lovely submission. Dakota Kai in a submission hold. And Raquel Gonzalez grabs Ember. Big strike. Ember goes down. Looking to put her away. Wow, look at... Oh! Nice, turned into a stunner. Stunner by Ember Moon out of nowhere. And Ember getting the pin on Dakota, and that's that. I mean, that match was alright. It's one of those that I've said before. 100 miles an hour, loads of big spots, big moves. It's not my favourite type of match, but I understand for an opener on the show. I get it. It's the kind of match you would have open a show. Kicks by Raquel. Shotzi goes out the ring. Raquel tells Dakota to pick up Ember. Dakota is making Ember watch as Shotzi is being driven into the ring post, into the barricade. She's got her up on her shoulder. Dumps her on top of that barricade. Are we building towards Gonzalez and Ember? It's kind of interesting how they're making Ember Moon watch. If you could bring back a prime Junkyard Dog, who would you put him up against? Maybe Roman? Maybe Roman? Just go straight for the top. I mean, Junkyard Dog was so popular in his prime that, I mean, he was just a red-hot babyface. Red-hot. Think Kofi Mania. In a way, it's like, you could say, if you had Kofi Mania, what would you do with it right now? And I don't know. I mean, probably go Roman. And if Junkyard Dog was someone from a different promotion that we hadn't seen before, maybe he would be the one to take the title off Roman. Could be cool. The arrival of a brand new main event star. Just seeing Tommaso and Timothy Thatcher. Oh, these two are good friends, aren't they now? Right, we're just seeing a little promo for Bobby Fish and Pete Dunne. Peter? How about Booker T? How about Booker T? Well, Booker T is someone that can do comedy. He is. I always loved him with Charmel, so I'd want to bring Charmel back with him as well. So I'd have Booker T, I'd have Charmel, and I would probably run him in a program with King Corbin, because I think Booker T's very well known for his King gimmick, and I would probably, just as a way to reintroduce him, run him with the program with King Corbin. Like, I don't want to keep saying like, well, Roman or Bobby. Do you know what I mean? So like this. I would try and think of something a bit different and creative. So I'm just thinking King Booker, Charmel. You could have him coming back. You could have Corbin getting upset, saying he's the real king, and you could probably do something with those guys, and then branch off into a different feud for him after, a more credible feud, dare I say. Hey, there we go. There's an advert tomorrow, 6:30, which is 1:30 Eastern. It's early. God, it's early. For that soccer game, that soccer match. Johnny said, I heard from the internet that Brock Lesnar was fired from WWE. I think his contract expires. I don't think he was fired. When will Toy Hunts return? I need to get vaccinated first, in truth. I'm really trying to not go out until I've been vaccinated. Yeah, but they're leaving all the cool people last. So, what can a guy do, guys? What is a guy meant to do? They're doing all the cool people last. They've got a letter through the post saying people with big heads won't be seen until about September time. And I was like, oh, God. Apparently I need extra vaccine because of the size of my head. Oh, God. They're having to make more. There's not enough. There's not a syringe that's big enough to give me the amount of vaccine that I need. So, yeah, that's the problem right there. I'm planning on getting the vaccine, says Sonny. I need Bray to have a match with Triple H before he retires. I also need Fiend versus Brock. I rewatched Survivor Series 2019, and the NXT superstars who were extremely over at the time were Volta, Riddle, and Keith Lee. Volta was extremely over with the crowd, and so was Keith Lee. Why is there no moan meter tonight? I mean, look at this. It's the addition to the stream that has taken the community by storm. No moan meter because I'm not really expecting to moan. I mean, will I moan at points? Sure. But do I need 10? I mean, I'd be gutted if I did. Like, this is NXT. I don't feel like on a Tuesday we have to really worry about that, to be honest. I mean, Raw we do, because that stands a chance of just being a non-stop moanathon. And no one wants to tune into a moanathon. So I think it's wise to try and limit it for Raw, but we shouldn't need it for NXT. I've had both jabs, says James. Yeah, I want it. I want it. Days, you're not cool, says Trump and Biden, the good bro. I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. I am, because my mum says I am. We've got an advert for the tour. 3 moans, says LSW. This is quickly becoming the best NXT of 2021, says Mayhem. Adnan Virk was fired after 7 shows. Well, apparently departed on mutual consent, so make of that whatever you will. Days, what's your favourite theme of all time? I genuinely love Kamala's, which is, I know, a very strange answer, but I just, I enjoy listening to it. I think it's great music. That kind of tribal music, it's just really, I love it. And I think it fitted his character so well. But song-wise, I loved Aleister Black's. Aleister Black's, I mean, they've probably changed it now, but I was always a big fan of that. Bianca's is cool. Bianca Belair as well. There's loads of great themes. But it depends. I mean, is it themes that are good because they work for the character, like Undertaker's and Kamala's? Or are they just great songs like Aleister Black's and maybe Bianca Belair's? Right, Pete Dunne, the bruiserweight, is making his way down with Oney Lorcan. Pete Dunne is the baddest man in NXT. Right, Pete Dunne versus Bobby Fish. If you are just joining us, I can see there's a good few people around tonight, which is great to see. Drop a like on the stream if you haven't already. It always helps. And, yeah, we're here every single Tuesday for NXT. And, yeah, it's nice to see there's a few people around tonight. What with Ted DiBiase. Should be a lot of fun. Big rumours that we're going to get the $1 million championship. And we're seeing Bobby Fish coming down with his own entrance. It's a little generic in truth, but I like Bobby Fish. It's so weird them not being in Undisputed Era, though. Vape Ross Vape said, when you are on a date, do you pop on Kamala? Yeah. I like to bring a young lady back. A little bit of wine. Go over to the stereo and I'm like, is there anything you want to listen to in particular? And she'll be like, no, thank you. Just you choose some. Okay. I don't even press play, I just stand there doing that. Like this. They love it. They love it. Right, we're underway with Pete Dunne and Bobby Fish. I don't know what to expect from this match, to be honest. We haven't seen Bobby Fish in like forevs. So hopefully he's going to be able to do some stuff here. And he's not just going to be fed to Pete Dunne, but he might do, I don't know. Pete Dunne working on the leg of Bobby Fish. And it's all over him. Look, he's got full mount at the moment. And now he's just trying to smash Bobby Fish in the face. Nice stomp there by Pete Dunne. Bobby Fish getting back up to his feet. Nice back kick as well. We're almost a quarter of the way through the show here. Almost a quarter of the way through the show. He's got the arm. Working on the arm, Pete Dunne. I'm hoping the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to win their hockey game tonight, says Sonny Wolf. You mean they're running for the door? Well, yeah, I mean, doesn't always work. I'd say it's got like a 1% success rate. And I'll take that. Back elbow by Bobby Fish. Man U game is on at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Shout out to you, David Connolly. Okay, so armbar applied by Bobby Fish. I'd imagine they're going to give the main event tonight about half an hour. You would hope, with entrances, commercials, all that kind of stuff. You'd imagine that it'll get that time, so we've probably got about an hour or so until we get to that main event. Nice forearm strike by Pete Dunne. Against the ropes goes Bobby Fish. And he puts Pete Dunne's arm behind his back and he drops him onto that top rope. Nice knee to the midsection. Forearm strike by Bobby Fish. Pete Dunne goes through the ropes. Bobby Fish kicks him to the outside. We got a little graphic on the floor that says, "In Your House 2021." Obviously, that is coming. I don't know when it is, actually. thinking about it. When is In Your House? In Your House 2021. We know that Todd Pettingale's coming back June 13th, so we're still a good few weeks away from it. So June 13th. I'm guessing Ember Moon versus Raquel Gonzalez for the title is my prediction. Ember versus Raquel. And Karrion versus Kyle, maybe. Maybe it'll be Kyle and Finn Balor. Perhaps it will be a multi-person match like the chat was saying earlier. Eric Defcon Prime Dirigi said, I don't know about the Maple Leafs of Toronto, but I know the Raptors of Toronto are the best at wrapping presents. Snoochie Booches, Wrestling Days Nooches. Shout out to you, Eric. I do like the Raptors. I don't think they had a great season, in all fairness. Because I think, aren't we at like the playoff stage now in the world of basketball? And I don't think the Toronto Raptors made it this year, so not a great season. No AEW tomorrow. They're going to show it on Friday after SmackDown. Yep. That's going to make Friday quite a long show, innit? It's going to make Friday quite a long show. Yeah, if you are interested in the football tomorrow, I completely 1000% understand there are channels that do this on a very regular basis. We are in no way trying to compete with those. But if you're around, just stop by, say hello, give us your thoughts. You know, what you think the score prediction's going to be. Yeah. I don't know what to expect from it. I really don't know what to expect from it. We're literally just going to talk about whatever the chat wants to talk about. Watch the football. And hopefully celebrate at the end. I'll be over the moon if Man U win. First trophy in it will have been, I think, 4 years. I think the last one was 2017. So to see them get a trophy, win a cup, and a big cup as well. There's only 2 European competitions, the Champions League and this other one, the Europa League. So there's only 2 big European competitions. So if they win it, it's good. It's really good. It's kind of seen, for those that don't watch football, as the mid-card championship for Europe. That's how to look at it. Man United are going for the North American Championship tomorrow. That's the best way of looking at it. When it comes to European competitions, it's the North American Championship. It's the Intercontinental Championship. It's the United States Champion. It's the Heritage Cup. So that's what Man U are going for. And then the big one is obviously Saturday with the Champions League final. And that's Man City and Chelsea. I'm just going to call football soccer to make the UK fans angry. Do it. Why not? You got to get your kicks somehow, haven't you? I must admit, it never bothers me. I think it's because, soccer was just a word that was also always around when I was growing up. You could play, as a kid, you could play FIFA football on the computer or Pro Evolution Soccer. And so soccer was I don't know, it's just a word that's always been around. We never refer to it as that. To us, it's football. But never bothers me. I'm not someone that's ever bothered by that. It's funny because I listen to a few podcasts when they talk about football, and they're like, "Oh, we can't call it soccer." And it's like, call it what you want. Call it the beanbag bonanza if you want to. I mean, I don't care what you call it. I don't know why you'd call it that. There's no beanbags involved, but Spinebuster by Bobby Fish. Pete Dunne gets planted. There we go. Look, soccer footballs. I'm happy the Rascals from Impact are now in WWE, says Logan. They're doing very well as well. Doing very well. Chris says, isn't Man City better than Man United? They are better at the moment, yeah. They won the league. We were second. And they've got to the final of the Champions League. And we got to the final of the Europa. But, yeah, right now they are definitely ahead of us. But we're hoping for a good summer. Get some players in. Make it a bit more competitive next year. Bobby Fish on the outside. Pete Dunne goes out the ring. Oh, hello. What's this? Pictures froze. Are you guys getting these technical issues? I've got picture freezing. There is a problem with this channel. What? What do you mean there's a problem with the channel? Did you guys get any problems, or is it literally just me? Where's it gone? Liverpool were third. Hang on, I can't worry about that right now. BT Sport just crashed on me. No, you don't have any. Has anyone got any problems? I've literally got a message saying there's a problem with this channel. Who do you like, Pete Dunne or Bobby Fish? I like Pete Dunne. It's not doing that for me. I didn't get it. Okay, looks like it must be an issue here then. No problems here. It's just you. Oh, great. I was just watching it, and then all of a sudden, like, the picture just went, and it's just gone black. And now I've got there is a problem with this channel. There's a problem affecting BT. Check connections. Right. Okay. Right, I'm going to have to go and fix this. How much do I not want to be doing this right now? Give me 30 seconds. And I know what you lot are like. You're going to be counting them. But give me 30 seconds and I'll see if I can turn it off, turn it on again. Boom. Right, apologies. It is, it's dead. It's absolutely dead. We've got there's no internet coming into our house whatsoever, so I don't know if there's a fault in the area again. So what I'm going to try and do is see if I can get onto BT Sport through the internet. There should be a way of getting onto it through the internet. I'll just have to use... I'm very lucky I'm lucky and I'm unlucky. I'm in the middle of a field, so there's no the internet coverage here is horrific. So we're in the countryside. So the internet we get is awful. So I actually have my own routers that I pay for on my phone contract, and they are very expensive. But they get the job done. It's the house internet that's gone down. There's no internet coming into the house right now. But at least I've still got my internet, which is why I'm able to stream to you guys, because I'm using my own. So I need to just try and get onto... BT, my BT, and hopefully watch it that way. But yeah, I was gone for longer because I didn't want to not get it fixed. I honestly thought we would be able to get it fixed. So it sucks. It all sucks. Just another technical problem. Just another one. Another one for us to enjoy. My BT. Right. Accept all cookies. My BT. We can do this. I can do this. I'm so confident that I can do this. I honestly thought it'd be a case going upstairs, pressing restart, and that would do it. Turn it off, turn it on again. At first, I thought it was an issue that everyone was having. Right. We are back. We are now using the same internet as the internet we're streaming on, so this could be wild. But we are back. Didn't really want to be going this way, to be honest. Hey, these things are sent to try us. Big shout out to everyone that's stuck around. Apologies. Who won that last one? Does anyone know who won that last match? Because obviously I didn't see it. But we have just started with our next one. This is Mercedes Martinez. Taking on, I think, is that Caden Carter? Caden Carter. Why does Mercedes Martinez literally look like she's still in Retribution? And just remember when the service crashes down and it hurts inside. Shout out to you, man. Big shout out to everyone that's stuck around. Really appreciated, because I know that sucks. It sucks. It's one of them. I mean, to be honest, that is actually not a technical problem we have, where the internet goes from the house. If ever we have, because the internet that's coming into the house is proper cables underground and all this kind of stuff. That never cuts out. That's never a problem. The problem we always have is my routers, my internet, my personal internet, because that is 4G. And, sometimes the network can drop out and whatever. So we have problems there, but we never have problems with the house internet. Mainly because it's rubbish and we never use it anyway. But it's good enough to, stream Netflix or get TV channels. It'll do that until tonight. So I'll jot it down in my technical difficulties book. If you are playing Wrestling Days Technical Difficulties Bingo, then that is definitely a new one that you can cross off, with wacky microphone sounds at the start, so you can cross that off as well. So, great fan for technical difficulty. Great evening for technical difficulty fans. But we are back, and we're looking all right now. We're looking all right. We do have Mercedes Martinez in there with Caden Carter. Days, not sure if you remember, thanks for all the content during COVID. You've really helped it. Keep doing you 230 soon. Insane Craze, shout out to you, bud. Appreciate the support. Yeah, that's cool, man. I really appreciate it. There's it's always nice to hear from people that say you really helped during COVID or whatever. It's nice, of course. But I always say the same thing. Like, you guys helped me as well. I mean, if I didn't have the ability to do this, I don't know what I would be doing. Genuinely don't know what I'd be doing. And COVID would have been more difficult. I mean, it was difficult anyway for everyone, but would have been even more difficult for me. So big shout out to everyone joining us and the community that we've got. Right, Mercedes has got Caden on her shoulders. 2, 3, and that's enough to get the win right there. Martinez wins. Austin said, Days Pete Dunne won. You missed Hit Row. Oh, brilliant. Yes! Do you know what? I take it all back. Lights have gone out. It's the Fiend. Guys, it's the Fiend. The smoke in the ring. Oh my god. Red light. Red light, guys! Red light! Smoke in the ring! Yowie wowie. No, it's Tian Sha. Come on, NXT. You're better than this. Maybe we do need a moan meter. So, look at this. We've got $1 Million Man backstage. So, for those of you that didn't see, red light, smoke in the ring, Mercedes Martinez looking around, and then when she looks down, there's a mark that's been drawn onto her hand. So, unless someone jumped in and she didn't notice, or now NXT has been invaded by ghosts that for some reason have the ability to draw marks on people's hands that can be seen, then, I don't know. Cameron Grimes hat, it's coming up. Robin said, that's not supernatural. There was no one in the ring, though. Was there, like... we could see in the ring. There was no one in the ring. I didn't see anyone sneak in and draw it. Plus, also, what? Someone came in and just quickly went... and then scurried off without her noticing. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's zombie ghosts. It's an Army of the Dead invasion. Sonny says, moan meter. Well, do you know what? Maybe I do need to introduce it now. The old moan meter. I'll bring it in. I'll bring it in by popular demand. I feel like I do owe people that because we did have our technical difficulties. There's the... oh my god. Moan meter, there we go. Moan meter. Pop it down there. Make that smaller. Let's get the old number on the go. I'll allow myself one more moan. I don't even think I'm going to need it, to be honest, but I'll allow myself one. Moan meter is here. Moan meter. 5 moans. There shouldn't be a need to moan, to be honest. I didn't expect to moan that once. Especially when I got told I missed Hit Row. So I was like, brilliant. Boom. Everyone has got a price with the $1 Million Man. All hail the moan meter. I kind of feel like the moan meter is very popular now and kind of needs some kind of graphic. Here's something for people then. Do people want to design what the moan meter should look like? Because I can put images on screen. So what do you think the moan meter should look like? It can have this spot under the clock. So that's the kind of space that we're working with there. But I'm fine with it not just being white text. I'm fine if there was a little graphic and the graphic said moan meter and whatever you want to put on it. I'm quite happy to do something there. So as my gift back to the community, I am opening the doors and I am saying, feel free to send me your moan meter designs. How do you want the moan meter to look? What kind of background you want it to have? What should the text look like? I think the only thing I would say is obviously it needs to be PG. So already, we all know what Austin's thinking. He's thinking adult image, Photoshop my head on it, Photoshop his head onto it, drop the text moan meter somewhere. We can't use that. That's not going to fly, right? So, have a think about what we can use, and feel free to DM me on Twitter. It's Cameron Grimes! Ted Dibiase! Here we go! Cameron Grimes making his way down. The $1 million face-off. Ted DiBiase! So, Cameron Grimes making his way down. Look, this is so tight. This is so tight. Can you see? Look at this. No room for my giant head. Cameron Grimes. And $1 million man. I'm glad I didn't miss this. Oh, could you imagine if I'd missed this earlier? Would have been gutted. Right, $1 million man making his way down. Money, 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 money. Cameron Grimes is brown. Mine's not brown. He's got a different hat, hasn't he? Old Cameron Grimes here today. Cheeky. He's gone up in the world, isn't he? This was his old hat. Now he's got money. Right, $1 million man Ted DiBiase in the ring. I wish he was wearing that classic Ted DiBiase suit. Everyone wants to know. Why? Why? I wasn't always rich. Sounds a bit the sound's a bit bad. I can't quite hear him. So Cameron Grimes asking why. I saw because of you. If I had money, I could treat people terribly. Yeah! So Cameron Grimes is like, I don't understand why. I learnt so much from you. I learnt I can be a terrible person, but as long as I've got money, it's fine. Ted DiBiase says, I like you. Got a lot more in common than you might think. Did you consider that I put you through that hell because when I look at you, I see a bit of myself? Why am I out here? I'm looking. I'm looking for that one individual that embodies everything the $1 Million Man stands for. He said it's not about humiliating people for money. It's about the performance right here. You've got it. I've seen it. Since you've become rich, you've lost your focus. Who's interrupting Ted DiBiase? LA Knight is coming out to interrupt Ted DiBiase. The disrespect. The disrespect. Why does the crowd sound awful? It sounds like there's about 5 people in there. Like, where's the enthusiasm? Where's the Dibiase? Dibiase! But where's the reactions? LA Knight coming out here doing a Don Callis impression with his coloured glasses. This segment needs life, energy. It's not... Oh, am I moaning? I'm moaning! I'm moaning! Oh my god, it's another one! Ah, that's moaning and I didn't even know I was moaning! Oh. Wow. I didn't even know I was doing it. Ted DiBiase said, let's hear what he's got to say. It's like looking at Cameron Grimes' lazy older brother, says Quinn81. That wasn't Kane and Carter. It is what it is. What can I ask? What's the sound like for you guys? Can you hear the sound perfectly fine? Am I just having more technical problems? Because the microphones sound really low to me. That's not a moan. I'm just saying, the microphones sound low. $1 Million Championship match in your house. I can hear it perfectly. Oh, okay. He's no Cameron Grimes. So Cameron Grimes going over to LA Knight. Get out the ring. Grimes is a face. Mayhem said, I've tweeted you a picture for the Moan Meter. Okay. Wow, he planted Cameron Grimes there. LA Knight absolutely planted Cameron Grimes. It was like a cutter, but... Okay, Grimes is down. Ted DiBiase says, kid, you're just never going to get it, are you? I have my volume on here at 30. I can hardly hear them, to be honest, says Daniel. Yeah, it sounds to me like the background noise is... like the mix of the volume sounds a little off. I have to say, I think that was an underwhelming segment in the sense of, obviously I was hoping for the $1 Million Championship. It doesn't matter that we don't get that, but to bring in LA Knight and for the crowd to not be as into it as what I was hoping, I was hoping for a bit more than what we got there. But coming up next, we're going to have Franky Monet. I could hear it okay. I've got DirecTV. Hello, what's this? In your house. NXT is here to tear down the house in your mind. What? NXT is here to tear down the house in your mind, in your face, in your house. I thought they were saying they were here to take over the house in your mind. I was like, I haven't got a house in my mind. Are we meant to have houses in our minds? What's going on? Right, I'm going to take this off because I can't feel anything. Look at that. Seamless. Absolutely seamless. Ted Dibiase! It's kind of cool. Mattel should have a Bastion Booger figure. Chris Stall said, I missed the Full Sail crowd. John said, it's good to see Ted, but they didn't stick the landing with that bit. Ted DiBiase was in WCW as well. He was in the NWO when they started. James said, useless fact, the artist who rapped for Franky Monet's theme also rapped for Caitlin's and Bianca Belair's theme. I believe her name is Nicole Tranquillo. Great name. In your mind, in your faces. Cameron Grimes is a tweener. John says you should wear that hat more often. It's a bit tight. Seriously, it's a bit tight. My house is in my mind, says Sonny. Oh, okay. Right, so we've got Franky Monet coming up, making her debut. We just saw her in the makeup department. Alex says, have you had a good day today? Have you had another adventurous food day? How is the day's household? I mean, the day's been all right until the internet just went. That was annoying. Food-wise, what have I had today? I haven't had anything. Which is like, what have I had? I haven't had anything. No, I haven't eaten yet. So I need to... I'll probably end up having, like, if ever I need... I've got to be honest, a lot of the time I just tend to shove something in a microwave and just have that. So, no, it's not been a very good food day. I will probably have a pasta meal, which is a big plastic, like, bowl, load of pasta in it, bolognese on top. You take it off, put it in the microwave, bosh, done. I mean, it's meant to feed, like, a family of 4. It's one of them, you know. And I just have that. It's probably meant to feed a family of 4 with, like, veg and potatoes and all this, but I just literally have the thing. It's a sad life that I lead, in all fairness. It's a real glimpse behind the curtain. I don't for a second think this is glamorous. So, yeah, I'll probably end up having that. And then I really need to look into tomorrow. I mean, I haven't done a thumbnail. I haven't done descriptions or set the stream up, or at least I found out it's on BT Sports, so I found that out. So, Days, are you expecting? Yes. Expecting what? A child? Are you saying I'm fat? Is that what's going on now? I mean, I am fat. John Morrison should come to NXT with his wife. Days, forget Cameron Grimes. Cameron Days is better. Shout out to you, Harry Richards. So, we've got 47 minutes to go. There might be an overrun. Sometimes there is. So, we could still be looking at about, I don't know, 55 minutes or something along those lines. They're sure to give the main event plenty of time tonight. We've got Franky Monet coming up. And Bronson Reed. We've still got to hear from Bronson Reed. So we've had the Ted DiBiase segment. We've had the tag match. Bobby Fish, Pete Dunne. Oh, hello. Indy Hartwell is backstage. What is she? Is she looking for Dexter? Yeah, she's looking for Dexter. There's Everrise Live. It sounds like you've got a problem. If you want to take a swing, take a swing. Here's Drake Maverick. Saw him a few hours ago in that room over there, and there's some really weird, creepy room in the pitch black. It is a creepy room. Lots of drawings on the wall. Broken hearts. Picture of Dexter being stabbed in the heart. Yeah, I mean, this seems like a really reasonable guy, doesn't it? That seems like someone you'd want to get into a relationship with. I don't know about you. If I walked into a room where I was told there was some lady I was looking for, I walked in and there was like pictures all over the wall of broken hearts and creepy moments. I'd be like, wow, I need to find this. We've got to spend the rest of our lives together. I need to find this woman. Right, Franky Monet coming down. Looks like she's wearing like a wedding dress thing. Franky's outfit is OTT. Franky Monet. I don't know who she's facing. Right, so they've obviously, you know, teased her for quite a while. She's finally in the ring. Franky Monet is an angel, says to Boy. Cora Jade. Cora Jade. Right, here we go. Did you try giving your router a banana? I probably should have. I think my router was doing me a favour when I found out that I missed hit row. Okay. Why is she... Franky is a bit stiff in the ring. Straight across the back. I mean, I know that this woman can wrestle. I know she can wrestle. Straight to Cora Jade. Face first into the middle turnbuckle. Charging over. Double knees into the back. Against the ropes. Slides on the knees. Goes over to the corner. Double knees again. Reports are that UFC announcer Jimmy Smith might replace Adnan Virk. Okay. You're always eating processed microwave food. I'm concerned for you. I'm just always up at different times. I mean, like, my sleep schedule is a nightmare. I gotta say, so far, I'm really not impressed here. There's nothing to get excited about. I feel like I'm watching Dana Brooke. I mean, so far, she's just done a lot of running and a lot of high-impact moves. So, a lot of double knees. We just had a clothesline. There hasn't been much in the way of, like, impressive wrestling. I appreciate this is her first match. And I appreciate that stuff will come. And I appreciate she can wrestle. But there's nothing here that's, like, really grabbing me. I mean, her debut has been built up for quite a while. Next sweep. Going for the cover, kick out. Spear. A lot of high impact moves. A lot of high impact moves from Franky Monet. Double knees. Clothesline. Spear. She's got a bit of a Luna Vachon vibe to her. Shouting at Cora. She picks her up. Plants her down face first. It does a job, doesn't it? It does a job. It's her first match. She gets the win. But considering that's Taya Valkyrie, I was expecting more. Like, considering she was a former Impact Women's Champ. But I suppose, in a way, you might not want to give everything at first. Because then you can just keep building her up and she can keep introducing more and more. So perhaps they're going that way. Franky wins. She really took the glam slam in front of the glamazon, says Magic. Right, we've got grizzled young veterans. So, grizzled young veterans just cutting a promo at the moment. Amon. Was it Amon? I suppose I was being critical. Yeah, I'll count it as moan. I was expecting more. If it's counting as a moan, I'm gonna moan then. I didn't think that was good enough. I think considering her debut has been built up for so long, and considering she's come in from TNA and she's meant to be this next big thing, I didn't think that was good enough at all. I mean, that is nothing compared to what we get from Zoe Stark. Nothing. But there's levels to this game, and I appreciate there's many levels that she can still go to. So I do give her that. But I don't know. I was expecting more. Right, we're going to hear from Bronson Reed coming up next. Days, I'm not a fan of the moan meter. Okay. I am fine with her joining John on Raw, says Jeremy. Yeah, that could be more interesting. I'd be into that. Put them together. I'd be into that. You could do Miz and Maurice versus John and Franky Monet. That would be good. I'd be into that. Robin said, I disagree. She used every cool move. She used every cool move in. Oh, what? That was all her cool moves. I don't think it was a bad match, says Brad. There wasn't anything to it though. It was like double knees, clothesline, spear. There was nothing to it. Like, this is Franky Monet. We've been hearing about her for weeks. She's been going up to people backstage. They promoted her debut. Everyone knows her as Taya Valkyrie from Impact. And there was nothing there. There was nothing there for me. If SmackDown doesn't get any moan counts, that proves it's a better show, says Sutter and Steves. Could we see Franky go for the NXT Women's Championship? Oh, I'm sure we will. Yeah, I mean, they are positioning her as a big star. They are definitely positioning her as a big star. She's been getting a lot of hype and interrupting people's promos, interrupting in the ring, backstage. We've seen lots of... like last time we saw Io Shirai, Franky Monet walked in on that as well. So, and she was a big deal in Impact. So, yeah, they'll be building her up for a championship run. I'm sure of that. People, halftime scores. Check them in. Yeah, check might as well. I think we were probably one commercial break later than we should have been, but yeah, put them in now. Austin saying 7, Sonny saying 7, Brony saying 6.75. William Hensey says let's do 3/4 time scores. Corey 6.75, Brandon 9.1, Austin with a 7, Retribution with a 5, Bonkers with a 5, Brony 6.75, Big Boy Dally 6.75, Crimson Rain with a 7, Herb with a 7. Deception Hunter said we should get a Moan Championship belt. Well, it would go to Raw. Raw would be the champion of that. 8 out of 10 says Chris. 6.5 says Vinster. You went all the way upstairs and didn't grab a banana. I swear there was some. I thought I had some. Oh. Right there. They're never far away. I don't need to go upstairs for bananas. They're never far away. My precious. Just down there on the floor. 6 out of 10 says let him in. 7 says Jordan. 7 says Steven. 7 says Jordan. 5 out of 7 says William. I give it a 9, says Robert. Dan C with a 7. Junior McClellan says 7.5. Andrew says 6 moans out of 10. Andra Show said Dana Brooke versus Franky Monet would be good. Martin with a 6. Wayne with an 8. Smurfy Tunes with a 6.6. So there we go. Not amazing scores at the halfway point. Lots of 6s and 7s. Well, I say halfway point, the 3/4, but I think that main event is going to swing things around here. I think that main event is drastically going to swing things around. You will be restoring the honor of our beloved sport because to us the mat is sacred. So, you know, is this now a stronger Imperium, a more refined Imperium? I don't like that Alexander Wolf has lost his job. But, you know, it looks like they are positioning Imperium now to be... I mean, I think they're good as a trio. I think they were fine as a 4. But I think they're good as a trio. With Volta as the undisputed leader, of course, which he always was. Right. Bronson Reed making his way down. You want peanut butter with your bananas? No, thank you. Imperium are going after MSK, says Robin. Okay, so we've got Bronson Reed in the ring. Okay, that's... do you know what? I just think there's not that many people there. Hearing them banging on the thing saying you deserve it. I think there's just not that many people there. And there's probably, I don't even know, 100 people there or something. Bronson Reed talking about how he's had to climb the mountain for 14 years and how he's fallen sometimes. And this is proof to any kid. Work hard and you will become a champion. He looks good in a suit with that over his shoulder. He looks good. Now that I've got this, good luck trying to take it from me. I had a big mountain to climb. You've got a colossal mountain to climb. That's good. And here comes Santos Escobar. Here comes Legado del Fantasma. So, Santos Escobar. Legado del Fantasma applauding Bronson Reed. I always saw him as the next Samoa Joe, says Paul. What wrestling company will win the Friday Night War? AEW or WWE? They're not on at the same time, are they? I think they're on. I think AEW starts after WWE. But I'm not expecting AEW to do WWE's numbers. I mean, SmackDown gets 2.2 million. AEW, I think the most they've ever got is, what, 1.3? Something like that. This business belongs to me. Double or Nothing is going to feel special with it having a full capacity this weekend, says Daniel. So, Santos Escobar on the outside of the ring, cutting a promo. And Bronson Reed standing in there with the belt over his shoulder. I run the bingo, says Santos Escobar. Is that true? Does he run the bingo? Eyes down, guys. Next ball out. We've got all the threes, 22. All the threes, 22. Days, when do you think Roman turning face? Just a random question. Hopefully for not a long, long time. So, he says that he's from Mexico. It belongs to him. So, Bronson is slightly surrounded and is about to get into the ring. And MSK make their way down. Bingo! EC Dub. Bray should do a Funhouse segment where he roasts Huskus the pig. No, he shouldn't. William says bingo. Yeah, I didn't get that bit. But I'm totally down for vignettes where Santos Escobar absolutely runs the bingo. I'm totally down for those vignettes. Right, we've got Balor backstage. So we've got to be going... Yes, next Balor against Karrion. What about Canada? Oh, Canada. Well, he said Canada don't count. And knowing Canadians, they're going to be really polite about it. Knowing Canadians, they were like, he's probably right. Sorry to, cause any nonsense. Sorry if we offended or got in the way at all. Right, Karrion Kross versus Finn Balor. Bronson Reed reminds me of Brodus Clay. Linda is cheating on you with Dominic Mysterio. Now that's a storyline. Now that's a storyline. Capsman09 says the Royal Farms Arena here in Baltimore is big enough to have social distancing. Okay, cool. Is that where Double or Nothing is? I don't understand, like... Well, I don't... Do you know what? Now I've said that, I don't know where Double or Nothing is. Where is it? Double or Nothing is coming from... Oh, is it Daly's place? I thought it was at a different place. I thought we was going to a different place. Are we still in Daly's place? In my head, we were going somewhere else. Full capacity crowd. Oh, but... Yeah, I suppose we have got the Stadium Stampede. I never really put two and two together, to be honest. In my mind, for some reason, we were going somewhere else. MGM Grand Garden Arena. What's that? Is that... What's going on? Hang on. There's 3 locations. MGM Grand Garden Arena, TIAA Bankfield, and Daly's place. Make your mind up, guys. Where are you going? Guys, where are you doing this show? Takes place at Daly's place. The Stadium Stampede is going to take place at the TIAA Bankfield. Oh, the event was originally scheduled to be at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Right. So it was originally going to be at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. It's not anymore. It's at Daly's place. We've obviously got Stadium Stampede. Right. Okay. Boom. Days, have you got a console like PS4, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, etc.? Yeah, I've had a PS4 for a long time. Like, I had a PS4 kind of around when they came out, to be honest, because I was working in an entertainment store when they came out. So, I was able to get one and get the games and whatnot. So, I've never been a big gamer, but I've always had PlayStation. I had PlayStation 1, 2, 3. So, thought I'd get 4. I haven't bothered with 5. I'm really not bothered. There's nothing that I really want to play. So, I do have PlayStation 4. And I did buy a Switch. I bought a Switch, like, early last year. I never use it. I never use it. There hasn't been that many great games come out for it recently, in my opinion. I could be wrong on that. There could be games that people are absolutely loving, but I'm just not a big gamer. So, yeah, it's in a drawer upstairs. So, I've learnt my lesson. That's why I've not got a PS5 or an Xbox or anything like this, because I just won't play it. Right. Oh, hello, William Regal. Finn Balor. Triple threat. Kyle. Pete Dunne. Johnny Gargano. So, Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne, Johnny Gargano, triple threat next week. So, will that keep them out of this match? Because they know that they're in a triple threat next week. They don't need to get involved here. So triple threat next week. Hopefully that keeps them out of the match and we get a clean finish. Because as I said, I would do a clean finish. I'd have Karrion go over. Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne, Johnny Gargano. Also next week we've got MSK taking on Legado del Fantasma. NXT Tag Team Championship match coming up next week. Where is Mama Day? She's in bed. It's coming up to 20 to 3 in the morning here. Here's Karrion and Scarlett backstage. Here we go. And there's Finn Balor. No one's saying anything, or... Balor goes to the entranceway. Climbs the steps. Smoke appears. His music hits. He walks out. Kind of weird, isn't it, to follow him out like that? But it's kind of cool. Like, we literally just watched him walk up the steps and walk out on the stage, and we were like... That was kind of weird, but cool. Balor making his way down. Can you check my tweet about the wet merch? I'll have a look after, bud. We've got our main event coming up now. Finn Balor against Karrion Kross. Days, I'm 40 years. Will you be in 40 years? Will you be 21? I'd have to have a look and try and work it all out. But I think there's a chance I'd be around that age, yes. Who's the spooky lady? I'm guessing that's Scarlett. If you don't normally watch NXT, 'cause, I'm guessing this is going to do decent ratings because of this match and Ted Dibiase. That's Scarlett. She is the wife of Karrion Kross. Befriend a mouse, then introduce you to Moose, ride the moose, then ask a fish for a ride. Okay, William, hope you are well. Daly's Place is connected to TIAA Field. That is the home of the NFL Jaguars, says Capsman. Shout out to you. William said I'm still learning names. That's no problem at all. Balor in the ring. Scarlett on the entranceway. Did the camera just bump into that scaffolding a little bit? I think the camera just swept, and then there was like this little jerk as I think the camera just bumped into the scaffolding. Here's Karrion in his little kinky pants. Karrion Kross in his kinky pants. Karrion Kinky Pants Kross. Triple K. It's old Triple K, innit? Scarlett is the best. Kross is a lucky man. Did Ember Moon win? She did, and then they were made to. She was made to watch as Shotzi was beaten up. The end is here. Do you think NXT should have their own talk show? That would be fun. Yeah, that might be all right. Yeah, I mean, the entrance just makes me laugh. Like, she's gyrating around in the background, and she goes in between his legs and everything. It's just like this whole... It's like this whole performance piece. It's like a little bit of amateur dramatics before we actually get going with the match. If I was Balor, I'd be like... Or maybe a slow clap. They should cut to Balor and he's like... That's what I would do. One of them. And if I was standing there now and had Karrion in front of me, I'd just be like flicking at his little dangly thing. You know, his ring attire. Just having a little flick of his old dangly thing. Karrion Kross, an intense striker, a judo grappler. He's got presence and he's dominating. Screams in the face of Finn Balor. Balor, Kross 2. I want Balor to win, you know. I want Balor to win. I've decided I'm Balor in this. I'm Team Balor. He's not going to win, but I'm Team Balor. I'm cheering Finn Balor here. I think Kross has got a silly entrance. He's got silly pants. And I think Finn Balor's cool, credible. I really like him. So I'm Finn Balor. Team Balor, that's my pick. Who are you rooting for? Are you Team Balor? Are you Team Kross? It's kind of an interesting main event because... both fan favourites in a way. Kross very popular, and Balor very popular as well. Don't sit on the fence, guys. You've got to choose. Are you Team Balor or are you Team Kross? Crimson Rain says Team Kross. William is Team Scarlet. Team Volta. Yeah, well, I'm definitely Team Volta. Team Balor, but I don't think he'll win, says Brony. Balor, says Brian. Team Tuck. Team Kross, says Damien. Team Balor, says Magic. Kross goes to the outside. This will be the last time that Kross beats Finn, says Jeremy. Edward said, Kross all the way. Finn sucks. Team Kross, says Andrew. Team Kross, says Labria. Team Kross, says Sunny. Team Balor, says Baroni. Team Balor, says The Prince. Team Linda. Yay! Team Ref. Yay! Team Keisha. Who's Keisha? Doesn't matter. Way! Team Finn all the way, says David Conley. Team Kross, says Austin. Team Daniel Bryan, says Sword Whitey. Team Banana. Yay! I want them to team up, have John Cena come back and be their heel leader, says Into Power. Kross will win, probably, says Bonkers. I agree. Team Banana says let him in. Yay! In the Battle Royal at Double or Nothing, there's a surprise entry. They haven't advertised it a lot, but there's also a full capacity. Could it be someone big to try and get a big pop off the crowd? They could bring... I would expect something. Yes, I would expect something. But someone big? I don't know. I mean, it is Double or Nothing. There is a full capacity crowd. There's a very good chance of something. But I can't say I'm expecting CM Punk or Brock or anything like this. Might be another Ethan Page. Might be another Matt Sydal. I don't know if it'll be another Christian. But it's a good point. It's a good Team Moan Meter, says Heel Santa. Team Moan Meter. We are at commercial break. We haven't got loads of time here. We've got 13 minutes. And then maybe a little overrun. So, I don't know. This could still get 20 minutes, in all fairness. If it's someone big for the Battle Royal, at AEW, they're doing a horrible job of teasing it, says Andres Lopez. Did you hear about AEW moving to TBS? Yes. They are getting a second show, though, aren't they, on TNT? Hit row, hit row, hit row. Right, we are just waiting to go back. Daze, can you explain the moan meter? Well, really, it was just brought in for Raw, and I was becoming very aware that Raw is such a bad show, usually, that it does run the risk of us just moaning for 3 hours. And I'm very aware that's not why people tune in for the streams. I mean, I don't think people want to spend their evenings just listening to me moan and then reading the chat with loads of other people moaning. So I thought, well, we should probably try to limit this a little bit. So I gave myself... I was doing all right, man. I did all right yesterday. I haven't done as well today, in all fairness. But then I wasn't really expecting to have a moan meter, and I didn't really give myself that many. And I have to say, I don't think this has been to NXT's usual standard. I kind of feel like the success of this show is riding a bit on this main event. Face first into the corner goes Balor. This match is boring. I thought it was going to be the best match because all they're doing is arm wrestling. Big collision into the corner. Well, we've only just come back from the break here. Scarlett on the outside. Gesturing away. Looking for a suplex by Karrion. Come on, Balor. Come on, Balor. Kross stamping on the foot of Finn. Stomping on him again. What is the score for the Maple Leaves? I don't know. Is 0-0 or nothing a wrestling show? I don't know. I've never heard of that. Shout out to Robert. When is Double or Nothing this weekend? Nice kick to the midsection by Karrion Kross. Forearm strike and Balor goes down. Karrion Kross absolutely dominating here. Goes for clothesline, but Balor turns it into an abdominal stretch. And throws him some strikes to the midsection. Jumps onto the back of Karrion. Drops an elbow, looks for the pin. Only gets a 1. Balor working hard. Who is the 24/7 in soccer? They don't really have one. There's not really a title. I think the worst title you can win is probably the League Cup in England. It's probably the worst trophy that you could get, but even that's, finals at Wembley, and it's pretty credible. I don't think there's anything like the 24/7 title in football. Oh, kick to the back. Maybe the Charity Shield. I don't know. Maybe the Charity Shield. That's when the FA Cup winners face the winners of the league. It's normally like the match that starts the season. They take the FA Cup winners, which was Leicester. Well, Charity Shield will be Leicester versus Man City. That'll be about August time. Some point time in August. They'll do the Charity Shield. And that is the match that normally kind of starts the new season. The last season's FA Cup winner versus the winners of the league at Wembley. It's just a little warm-up thing, really. Balor trying to... Nice. Grab the arm. Getting Kross grounded. Looking for a crossface. And he's managed to get it applied. So crossface by Balor. Strikes coming into the midsection. Kick to the midsection by Balor as well. Goes for a kick, but the leg is grabbed by Karrion. Roll through. Double stomp. Great work so far by... Finn. I'm back. I was having problems. Can you tell me what I've missed? Well, we're just at the main event now. We've got Karrion Kross and Finn Balor. And it's been largely Karrion. Forearm to the back by Karrion. Finn Balor goes down. Balor going over and through the ropes to the outside. That Kyle guy is in the crowd. Is he? I haven't seen him there at NXT. He's the dude that has wore like the blue Everton football shirt in the past, but you see him all the time at AEW. Balor has got Karrion on the outside. Big kick by Balor. That's a good spot, that is, Robin. I thought he'd turned his back on NXT for good. Another commercial break. Another commercial break. You remind me of the Gordon Ramsay of wrestling, says Big Boy Dally. I'll take that as a compliment. I think that's a good thing. I'm not sure. Where our friend? Team Mama Days says Heel Santa. Who won out, official Dunne? I was told it was Pete Dunne. He's a traitor, says James Chadwick. Yeah, doesn't he know there's a war going on? Doesn't he know you're not meant to enjoy both sides? How dare he? How dare he? Where is Mama Days? She's in bed. She's asleep. It's 5 to 3 in the morning here. Jennifer Lockhart, shout out to you. Says, after a 4.5-star match between Rosa and Camille on Power that ran out of time, leaving you wanting more, it's been hard to get interested in NXT. Oh, really? It was a good match against Thunder Rosa and Camille. That's, I did hear they were facing each other one more time, and they ran out of time. That's interesting. Jennifer, shout out to you. I still pay for that. I still pay for NWA. So I'll have to try and go back and watch that if you're telling me it's good. People asking where Leo is. Right, that makes sense. Yeah, Leo's in the UK, isn't he? He's like a young lad who lives in the UK. Again, just a reminder, it's 2 to 3 in the morning here in the UK. On a Wednesday night, so my guess would be Leo is probably asleep. But he does get in touch with me from time to time on Twitter, like sends me little like updates as to like what he's up to and whatever. So I know he's still around, but it hasn't given me any updates on his dating life. In all fairness, so I don't know. Hopefully he can join us on the chat again and we can ask how his dating life is going on. Dervish says, all signs suggest that Finn Balor will go to the main roster. He wants to. He wants to go to the main roster, so yeah, I'd like that. I'm a fan of Finn Balor. And I think that he deserves to go back to the main roster. Junior McClellan said, name the best shows from best to worst, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. I'd say SmackDown's the best, and then NXT, and then Raw's the worst. NXT and SmackDown can switch places, but I would say consistently SmackDown is probably better, which might upset a few people because NXT is kind of known as the wrestling show. But I do think it struggled since it went to the USA Network and was 2 hours. They've done a lot of good stuff as well, though. Definitely. There's been some good stuff. So, as I said, they can switch, but I reckon I've probably enjoyed SmackDown consistently more than NXT since it moved to the USA Network. Days, when will you do toy hunts again? As soon as I get vaccinated. I would like to get vaccinated first. Especially because I don't think my immune system's going to be great anymore. Just because I've been literally in the house since early 2020. So I've not really been around other people. So I kind of feel like any little sniffles that are doing the rounds, I think they would just batter me. I seriously think I, could easily pick up illnesses and whatever now. I should imagine my immune system's just in the gutter. So, yeah, I would like to just get the vaccination first. And then once I got that, I kind of feel like we can start doing them on a more regular basis, so. Balor back in the corner. Definitely check it out when you can. Match time limit came into effect. Rosa had a great submission hold. Karrion. Double stomp by Balor. He's managed to grab Balor. So he's got him in a submission hold at the moment. It's kind of not in the middle of the ring. It's kind of in between the middle of the ring and the ropes. Balor might be able to get there. He might be able to get a toe onto the ropes or something. Oh, he's managed to get his hand onto the ropes. He's in real trouble there. Referee counting and Karrion having to break it. Next week, just a reminder, we've got that #1 contenders match between Johnny Gargano, Kyle O'Reilly, and Pete Dunne. Crowd are quite vocal for this one. Can certainly hear them better here. On the outside, Balor and Kross. Balor getting thrown into that plexiglass. Picks up Balor. He's going to look to drive him into the plexiglass again. And that plexiglass... that plexiglass... Whoa! Proper bent back. So, Balor getting smashed into that plexiglass hard. Karrion Kross staring at the fans. I kind of feel like both of these are tweeners. I'm not sure that Karrion's relationship with the fans there was that great. He had a little moment where he was staring at them. Nice reversal by Finn. Let's go, Balor. Let's go, Balor. I think the crowd are chanting Finn, are they? Clothesline by Balor. Kross goes over the top. I'm sure there was a Finn chant then, Balor up, over, comes crashing down. We've really changed gears now. Scream by Finn, but Karrion Kross jumps up, picks up Balor, plants him onto the announce table. This is awesome, I think, the chant now. They're now chanting, "This is awesome." Into the ring. I'm just looking at the time here. We're 2 minutes over. I mean, we can't have long. Kick to the midsection by Balor. Strikes coming in by Finn. Finn getting pushed away. Finn looking for a takedown. Double stomp by Finn. Double stomp by Finn. Karrion definitely feeling that. Balor backing over to the corner. Over against the ropes. Charging over. Beautiful drop kick. Karrion goes down. Right, here's Finn. Finn going up top. Looking for coup de grace, but Karrion moves out the way. This is a problem for Balor. Balor picked up, driven back into the corner. Karrion's got Balor into a German. Center of the ring. Looks like one-way traffic right now for Karrion. Karrion saying it's over. Johnny gone. I wonder if Adam Cole gets involved in the triple threat next week, says Broken Dreams. How do you think this version of Finn would do against Brock? I think he would lose. I'd love for them to book it as a real competitive match, though, and if Balor was to win that would be huge if he could beat Brock. There's not many people that have done it. But right now, it looks like he's struggling to beat Karrion, but is that a submission hold? I thought there was a 3 count there, but the ref didn't count it. Oh, Karrion has managed to get onto the back of Balor, rain down some forearm strikes. Balor grabs the leg, reverses, and now he's the one raining down some forearm strikes. Big shots coming down by Balor. What's the ref doing? What did the ref do then? The ref came in and was like, no, stop. And he checked on Karrion Kross. He's got Kross in a submission hold. Kicks coming into the side of the body by Finn. Oh, nice. Good triangle here by Balor. There's only so many strikes allowed then in that situation. Kross looks like he's fading. He's checking on the arm, but Kross is showing he's still got a bit of life in him. Kross picking up Balor. Drops him down. So Kross has broken out of that. Clothesline. Balor goes down. I thought Finn had won. Yeah, what doesn't make sense to me there is if you're over by the ropes and you're hitting someone, the referee will count and you've only got, like, is it a count of 3 to stop? You've only got to the count of 3 and then, like, you run the risk of being DQ'd. But that was center of the ring. Like, there was no ropes involved there, so I don't understand why the referee broke it off, to be honest. Karrion Kross putting Balor to sleep, and Balor has gone to sleep. Referee has called for it. It was a great match. Kross retains. Amazing match. Ref cheated. He helped Kross up. Yeah, I've got a question mark about that. I just don't get it. I don't understand that part of the match. In my mind, Balor is pounding away on Kross. They're nowhere near the ropes, so there's no reason to break it up. Referee, if he wants to give a ref stoppage, can do that if he's worried about Kross's well-being, that would mean the match ends and that Finn Balor wins. But instead, he actually tells Balor to get off and allows Karrion Kross to like regroup, really, and he stops Balor's attack. Perhaps that 3 count, I don't know. I'm saying people on Twitter saying Kross is boring and can't wrestle. They're wrong. Right, the show has ended. The main event carried that show hard, says Brony. Love the stiffness of Kross, says Outdoor. Kross isn't boring, says Robin. Finn will be on Raw and he'll get in Lashley's face on Monday, says Jeremy. I would love to see Finn versus Roman, says David Conley. 8 says Martin. 775 says Brony. 9 says Outdoor. 7 says Gamer Generics. 7 says to Boy. 9 says let him in. I think he was knocked out for a minute and then the ref had to wake them up some way. Like what? Like in real life? I thought he was giving him till the count of 5. I mean, you do normally get a count, but I thought that was over by the ropes, to be honest. I thought if you was over in a corner, over by the ropes, that's when the ref gives you, like, the count of 5 to stop. But this one was more... In fairness, it's not something we tend to see. That kind of ground and pound is not something we see all that often in WWE. So I'll be the first to admit that my knowledge of the rules on that, because we don't see it that often, is a little shaky. So it could be fine. It could be above board. It could be that you only have a certain amount of time. But it did take me out of the match because I had questions about it. And I was like, hang on, shouldn't the match end there? And I found myself then thinking more about that rather than being lost in the action. So that would be my criticism. I thought that the match was good. Had a nice pace to it. I like how it built. Loved the stuff outside the ring. There was loads of really good stuff in that match. But then that ground and pound thing happened. It really took me out of it. Because then I was like trying to figure out, hang on, has the referee just screwed him there? And then it was, a little bit difficult to get back into it. Because I'm still thinking about it now. Because now I'm wondering what the rules are. And I'm wondering, why don't I know the rules? And I don't know, yeah. Bit strange. Bro, how about Kross versus Fiend at WrestleMania 38, says Valley-Eyed Bread 88. 725 says Freshly Squeezed Experience. 7.5 says Jordan. 7 says 1987 Big Fan. 725 Freshly Squeezed. I'm here with a 7. Andres Lopez says there's been too many pass-out finishes lately, so gives it a 7. Junior McClellan said Roman versus Finn Balor for the Universal Championship, maybe. Roman versus Finn at SummerSlam. Austin says 7. 9 says Jordan. 5 says Cheese Whiz. 7 says Austin. 8.9 says William. Shaquem with a 7. Brony with a 7.75. Gabby with a 7.5. Xavier with a 7. 6.5 says Lone Star Friend. David Conley says 8.5. It was a very good match. 9.25 says Dylan. 9.25 says Brendan. Sunny Wolf with an 8. Brony with a 7.75. 9 from Sean Reset. 7.5 from Cavi. 7.5 from Magic. Got loads of 7s, few 8s in there, few 9s in there. We had quite a few 6s and 7s, and it seems like you guys really enjoyed that main event because we did our kind of 3/4 scores, and there was a lot of 6s. And it seems like that was enough to kind of help push the score up. So I think this is an NXT that is carried quite hard by its main event this week. I thought it was a good main event. I am probably just going to be a little lower than you guys. Not much, but I'm going to go about 6.75. I think this is... I'm just going to be honest here. I think the Ted DiBiase segment was a bit flat for me. It kind of stumbled at times. It didn't really hit me with like a knockout punch. You know, I kind of feel like there's so much that they could have done, and that segment didn't really do it for me. I thought the opener was fine, but I have said before, I don't like matches that are just a million miles an hour and there's not really a change of speed. But it's an opener. It sets the show up. Totally understand that. We got something out of it. So, you know, it wasn't bad. But it's not something that I'm going to go crazy about. It's not really, like, to my personal taste. But I get it. The Franky Monet thing I was a bit disappointed with because I was expecting more. She had a lot of high-impact moves. She had spears, clotheslines, lots of double knees. But there wasn't really anything that made me go, wow, there's a new star that's arrived in NXT. Like, I'd say the most impressive thing was her entrance attire that she wore when she came down. That's probably the big thing that I took away. But her in-ring was just very basic, to be honest. It's the kind of thing I reckon you could teach Lana in like 5 minutes. So, I know she's got other levels, though. I did say that at the time. So, I know there's other levels for her. So, I have to agree, like, good chunk of this show, it wasn't really living up to my expectations. So, I was probably just under a 6 coming into this. So, I am giving quite a bit of credit here to that main event. I do think it was a good main event. That just took me out at the end, that little thing at the end. But I really enjoyed the bit outside the ring where he was like smashing him into that barricade. Loved it when he was putting him through the announce table. I thought some of the action was really good in that main event. So yeah, there's some decent stuff. Some decent stuff there. The Bronson Reed Santos Escobar thing could be quite interesting. The Ember Moon post-fight beatdown was good with Raquel and Dakota, so I thought that was decent. Trying to think what other positives. I missed Hit Row, so and in fairness, they might have been good. I don't know. They might have been good. They might have done something decent. So yeah, I've got to say though, this to me is like really below where I would want NXT to be. I've seen better episodes from them. From what I saw of Pete Dunne, Bobby Fish looked like a good match. So I think that was pretty decent. So a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. A bit of a mixed bag. There's stuff here that I wasn't, crazy about. But there was stuff here that I thought was solid as well. And I think it probably just shakes out about a 6.75 in the end. So I'll go with that. I think Balor will most likely go to SmackDown, says Junior McKellum. Hang on, let me stop this clock because otherwise it's going to do my head in. Boom. Right, let me jump into the final thoughts of people. LSW said, I thought this was a great episode. Andres Lopez said, Days Drew passed out to Lashley at Mania. Bryan and Cesaro pass out to Roman, and now Finn passes out to Kross. Sean said, Hit Row cut a promo from Swerve Studio. Okay. That might have been alright, actually. I mean, like, I am a fan of vignettes. So, if they were doing something cool in the studio, and there was, like, someone recording something in the background, and they're doing some mixing or whatever, and hanging out, maybe drinking some Hennessy. Or, do you know what I mean? Like, and it's a bit of a... That might have been alright. What will convince you to go to a 7? I wouldn't, to be honest. I wouldn't. I would probably, if anything, go down. I mean, I was trying to think of positives, and I was struggling a little bit there. I mean, I named positives. And I don't think this was a bad show. I don't think this was a bad show by any means. But, yeah, I just think that a couple of the big segments underwhelmed for me. I think the Ted DiBiase segment underwhelmed. Franky Monet, as I keep saying, I don't want to keep banging the same drum. But I just think those didn't hit the mark for me. And as a result, it kind of left me feel a bit like NXT, this is the good stuff. And I think it could have been even better than what we got here. So for me, it shakes out as being a bit underwhelming, but the main event definitely picks up the score. So I kind of probably as high as I want to be honest. For me, on my scale, I'm probably where I want to be. But as I said, and this is really, really important, your scales are going to be different to my scale. What you enjoy is going to be different to what I enjoy. You might not have had any expectations for Franky Monet, and that might have blown your mind. You might have thought that was amazing. Might have thought her entrance gear was great. She was hard hitting. Tick, It might be you go, yeah, man, that was great. And, you might not have had any expectations for the Ted DiBiase thing, and now you're excited for LA Knight and Cameron Grimes. Tick. You might have just loved that main event match from start to finish. Tick. You might have loved Pete Dunne and Bobby Fish. Tick. It's one of them, innit? It's one of them. So on my scale, I think it's where I want to be. But for other people, I totally understand why people are in 7s and 8s. I totally get it. I disagree with the score, but it's fair enough, says Brony. Those kids act dumb, says shout out to you, Dace. Shout out to you. Austin says 5 days till Britt Baker becomes the AEW Women's Champion. Bunker said, I thought it was average. I'm going to give it 6.9. James Chadwick said, NXT is still way better than AEW on a lot of occasions. Big Boy Dally said, I disagree with having a moan meter on shows other than Raw. Austin said, I hope you like my moan meter design. Johnny said, Days, I would love to see Demon versus Fiend. Jordan said, can I see your hair? There's a video where you can see my hair. It's on that unboxing video. Sonny says, I'm going to work on the meter. Johnny said, I would love to see Demon Fiends. Brony said, you gave Raw 6. What are 3 good things that happened on the show other than good action? I don't understand your point, buddy. Are you asking me to talk about the Raw score, or are you asking me to talk about this one? Are you asking me 3 good things other than the action on the Raw score? Because I wouldn't personally class good action as just 1 point. Like, I would class the separate matches as kind of I would class the separate segments as kind of separate points in a way. There's not really like a rule book to how you get that kind of a score, but I was very impressed with Charlotte and Asuka. I thought they put on a really good match. I enjoyed Charlotte versus Asuka. So I was into that. I thought that Shelton against Cedric was actually better than what I was expecting. I just thought that was going to be a nothing segment. But the fact they had a good match and they went for quite a while, I was impressed with that as well. I was also into Kofi and Drew. I mean, I thought their match was good and it mattered. There was a stipulation. It wasn't like... I'm so used to just watching like one person out of a tag team take on someone else from a tag team. Like opening the show with Drew versus Kofi, with the winner getting a chance at the title. Like, I appreciate that. I appreciate we're opening with a big match that could be pay-per-view worthy, that's got an actual stipulation. Like, I appreciate that. It sucked. It completely sucked that it had outside interference and that's how it ended. But that's still not going to void the action completely or void the fact that the match had meaning and that it mattered. It just sucks that in the end there was outside interference. But I also give them credit because they then later said that Bobby can't interfere next week, and if he does, he'll be suspended. and I had praise for that as well. So I was into that also. So yeah, there was things on Raw. I thought it was a better episode than what we've had recently. Raw gave most matches a lot of time. I like that. Yeah, I like it. I like the fact that they gave matches time, and it was kind of, you were waiting for them to drop the ball. I remember saying that in the first 3 matches, we'd had lots of big names. I think we got nearly halfway through the show or something. Like, we certainly got past the first hour with matches involving Drew versus Kofi, former champs, Asuka and Charlotte, former champs, and Rhea versus Nikki Cross. Which, Rhea's the current champ, and Nikki Cross we hadn't seen for ages. So it was nice to see her back. And that felt interesting to me. Again, I'm so used to seeing Miz versus Otis. Or so, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, those are the kind of... Lucha House Party versus 3 random people chucked together that I don't care about. Like... King Corbin, Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio versus Lucha House Party, like those kind of matches. They don't mean anything. They don't matter. They're just there to waste time. So I actually thought, like, to start Raw with those kind of matches, I thought was an improvement. And each one, like, had something about it. Like, Charlotte versus Asuka did the winner of that get the opportunity to face Rhea? Because there was definitely... It's always a problem for me because I have to have the sound turned down. But obviously there was a big backstage segment involved. And obviously there was the Beat the Clock challenge with Rhea's match. There was the number 1 contenders thing with Drew and Kofi. And just felt like matches had time to breathe. The match qualities were good. Star power was pretty decent considering who's on the show. I don't know, man. I mean, I was actually... quite enjoying Raw. I thought Raw wasn't like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 or anything, but compared to where we've been, I thought it was much, much, much better. And then, final hour, we wobbled. I reckon we could have ended, if that final hour had delivered, I reckon we could have ended like 7.25, maybe 7.5. I think we would have been around that ballpark. I was feeling it, man. I was like, this is all right. And then that final hour hit, and I was like, no. And then we dropped down to a 6 in the end. But no, I thought it was all right, man. I thought it was better. One of the things that surprised me, and I know a lot of people will agree, and it's absolutely fine, but a lot of people hated the fact that AJ lost. AJ Styles losing to Jackson Riker, and I must admit, didn't bother me. Didn't bother me in the slightest, because in my mind, AJ is a champion, so he's got a belt already. He's doing tag team work, and he's clearly in a program with Elias and Jackson Riker. He's in the ring with Jackson Riker. He would win, but he got distracted by Elias, and so it was like a distraction win. I mean, I wasn't crazy for the finish, but I didn't feel the need to like hate on it or go on Twitter or anything. I saw, was it Sean Ross Sapp or someone saying like AJ Styles should never lose to Jackson Riker or something like this. But I kind of feel like I don't really know much about Jackson Riker. He's got a decent look. He is someone that they're, clearly trying to build up a little bit here. We've got, they're trying to build up Amos. I think they're trying to build up Jackson Riker. I kind of feel like giving him a pin over AJ in a distracting way doesn't do a great deal for Jackson Riker. It's probably not something I would have booked. But I can't say I was bothered by it either. I think I saw people saying like that was a reason why Raw was getting some negativity was because of that. And that's fine. If you don't think that should have happened, that's fine. It's not something I would have booked. It's not the way that I would have gone. In fact, it's not a feud that I would book. I mean, AJ and Amos against Elias and Jackson Riker, I just don't think is good enough, personally. I think we deserve feuds that are a little bit more engaging than that. So I wouldn't book that feud at all. But, I can't say I was, like, against it or appalled by it or anything like that. Going Ghost said, RK Bro will be tag champs at SummerSlam or shortly after. Do you agree or disagree? It's a match I'm looking forward to. AJ and Amos versus Riddle and Orton. The only concern is I don't know how far Amos is progressing. I don't know that Amos is like that great in the ring. We really haven't seen anything. We've seen him do the typical pushing people over. Do you know what I mean? Like, just really basic stuff. And I get that he's a giant, and by and large, he's going to do basic stuff. But, I don't know. I kind of feel like AJ and Riddle is going to have good action. AJ and Orton's going to have good action. And then Amos is just going to get in there and just push people around and scream and shout a little bit. So I'm looking forward to that match. It's two credible teams. And they could have a good feud and a good build. So, yeah. I mean, they could go on to be champs, RK Bro. Good promos and everything, but Amos is still very green, very raw, very much a work in progress. In the ring, on promos, the way he carries himself. It's still not quite clicking with Amos yet. So, I don't know. I don't know if we're seeing him too much. I don't know if he's like too animated. Maybe he just needs to be tall and moody in the background. Perhaps he's just got to be a killer. Like, he talks a bit too much and he smiles and interacts too much, and they're trying to give him a personality and everything. But I think I would just have him be silent, standing in the background. A little bit like Diesel was with Shawn. You didn't really hear Diesel say a great deal when he was with Shawn. He just had the dark glasses on, just used to stand there. And I think I would have gone that way. But they're trying something a bit different with the Moss. So I'm interested to watch how it plays out. But, I don't think I'd be doing this feud with Elias and Jackson Riker personally. But I'm sort of intrigued by Jackson Riker. He's got a good physique to him, and he's got a lot of tattoos on him as well. And I believe he used to be in the Marines. So I kind of think there's potentially something there with Jackson Riker. There's potentially something there. I don't know how big. I mean, like, I'd need to see him again, to be honest. I don't know how big he is, but I know he is. He's got a great size to him. But I don't know that he's quite Batista levels, you know. But I don't know what they've got planned for Jackson Riker. Riddle Xavier was good, says Austin. A lot of praise for Xavier Woods. Yeah, I saw a lot of people on Twitter putting praise on Xavier Woods following that match. I thought it was a good match, but I don't know that I was like, I need to go onto Twitter and tell everyone how amazing Xavier Woods is. I'm not saying he isn't. I'm not moaning. There's no shade or anything like that. But I was a little surprised by how much love and support was coming his way. It was nice to see. I mean, he is a bit of an unsung hero. You know, he's kind of always overshadowed by Kofi and Kofi Mania and just how big of a legend Kofi is. And, of course, Big E. You know, he's always been kind of the third wheel in a way. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just mean that he's not really had much of a chance to shine. Like, solo-wise, he came in. He had a little run with R-Truth when he first came in. But relatively quickly, he was in the New Day. And so we know him as the New Day. Whereas Big E had a little run before. Kofi had a big run before. But we didn't see much of Xavier before. So, it was good to see him getting some respect. Clay said, I'm late, but NXT was good. They need to push Jackson Riker, says Clay Harrison. I'm a bit torn on him, to be honest. I can't say I've seen anything that's blown my mind from him, but he definitely has a good physique. He definitely has got an interesting backstory. He can definitely wrestle. He's not an embarrassment in the ring by any means. So he can wrestle, good physique, interesting backstory. I don't know what his promos are like, in all fairness. I genuinely don't know. So it could be an awful promo. Don't know. I kind of feel like we haven't quite found the right thing for him yet. I don't know that putting him with Elias is the right thing. Don't know. We'll have to see. 3 random people I don't care about. I honestly can't wait for fans. Raw is going to benefit so much when fans come back. I completely agree. Completely agree, Brony. I think when fans come back, we said like everything should step up. Like I think creative will step up. I think the wrestlers will step up as well. Because I think some of them could have been phoning it in a little bit. I think some of them could have been doing that little bit more. But I think it's just different when you walk out and you've got the crowd and the energy compared to walking out and having just TV screens and cameras. Like, it must be different. It must feel different. It can't get the adrenaline going as much. So, yeah, I think everything will just get tighter and better when fans come back. Juan Collins says, bring back the Hurt Business. Junior McClellan said, Kross versus Roman versus Bobby versus Volta at Survivor Series. The Man will be back. Becky, yeah. Brony said, yes, the fans are going to give the shows life and it will give it energy and it will be better. I think they are saving Keith Lee's return for when fans come back, says Andres Lopez. Brony, shout out to you. Austin said, when the fans come back, Fiend might not get too supernatural for you. Well, I know. It's so difficult because like I was so into that character and I know that there's many, many people that still are. And I'd love to get back into the Fiend. And it can be easily done. I've said this so many times. It can be easily done. That door is not closed. But it's just personal tastes, isn't it? It's kind of like... I've said it before. It's very much like music. Very, very much like music. Like, we could all name our favourite bands, and I'm pretty sure we would all have different bands. And we'd all have, like, there'd be a lot of different genres. And there'd be a lot of different artists. And we could name our favourite albums, and we'd all have different albums. And I kind of feel that in the wrestling world, it's very, very similar. Like, we all relate to different things about different people. We all like slightly different, things. I think, like, obviously there's less wrestlers than there are musicians in the world. So, there's going to be a little bit more agreement, shall we say. But I do think that, by and large, it is very comparable. And as a result, what is amazing to one person could be atrocious to someone else. Just like rap music, do you know what I mean? If I was to play rap music to some 70-year-old, they'd probably hate it. But if you play it to the right audience, they're going to absolutely lap it up and think it's the greatest thing in the world. And that doesn't just apply to The Fiend. I mean, that applies to a lot of things in wrestling, pretty much everything in wrestling. So, I just think like that can get forgotten sometimes. Yeah, by myself as well, Because sometimes when you see something and it's just so not aimed at you, you can forget sometimes that, they do make things to be aimed at a certain target audience, and you might not be that target audience. Brony said, if it's going to be Jimmy versus Jay at Hell in a Cell, who will Roman's opponent be? Maybe Edge. That would be the first name that comes to mind, would be Edge. Or we get another rematch with Cesaro. But it looks like Cesaro's in a little program with Seth at the moment, so maybe not. Johnny said, what is the best Bray Wyatt match of all time? That's a very good question. The best Bray Wyatt match of all time. The best Bray Wyatt match of all time. That's a very good question. There's not been many Fiend matches, so I wouldn't select a Fiend match, but I do think his strap match with Daniel at Royal Rumble was very good. I thought that was probably the best Fiend match we've had so far, in my opinion. So I would say him against Daniel at Royal Rumble was very good. The Bray Undertaker match was not great. It was all right, but it wasn't great. And I don't think it was the right result. I don't think Undertaker winning was the right result. I must admit, I can't remember Bray versus John Cena. I can't remember it from WrestleMania 30. And I think we did a WrestleMania 30 watch along not that long ago, and I think it was all right, you know. I think that match was all right. So I'd have to go back and rewatch it. That might be in the run-in. Bray and Cena from WrestleMania 30. Fiend and Daniel Bryan from Royal Rumble. Don't be hypocritical. Just don't get back into the Fiend. Just let it be the way it is. No, my problem with the Fiend has always been the supernatural thing. So if they moved away from that, then I wouldn't be a hypocrite. Because I've always said that's what I can't. That's my line. My personal line has always been that. Now, if when fans come back, they go back under that line and we go back to it being mysterious and was that supernatural? Was it not supernatural? If we go back to that grey area, I'm right back in there. I mean, if to me that character can be psychological, and this can be a troubled Bray, then which is what I was. I remember doing like theory videos, and we didn't know what it was, but there was images of like a mental institution, a mental health facility, and I can remember looking at that and doing videos saying, could it be that he's been in a mental health place? And there was tweets about a doctor, and they were deleted tweets where it was like patient is showing signs of, and there was a lot of things pointing to this having like mental health kind of connections. Deleted tweets, mental health facilities flashing up during Firefly Funhouse, and there's even stuff about puppet therapy, where puppets can be used to help you if you're recovering from things. Mainly aimed at kids more than adults, of course, but then kids have played a big part of the Funhouse. So there was quite a few things that were pointing at this being like connected with mental health. So I was banging into the character then, and then obviously we went into Supernatural and I left. But if they were to dial it back and we were to go back to it, I don't think that would be me being a hypocrite. I think that would be me being very honest about where my line is of what I enjoy and what I don't enjoy. And if it goes back to where, I can enjoy it, then I would enjoy it. I was interested to know what people thought of Bray's best match. I think it's a very good question, to be honest. A very interesting question. Bray Bryan was his best match, says Andrew Lopez. Shield versus Wyatt family was excellent. That was excellent. I completely agree. Bray Bryan at Royal Rumble was excellent in 2014 as well, yes. Bray Roman at Hell in a Cell. Bray Cena at Payback. Fiend Finn at SummerSlam. And Fiend Bryan at Royal Rumble. So, interestingly, Austin doesn't mention Bray and Cena at WrestleMania. So, perhaps that wasn't of, the level of some of these. To be honest, after looking at that list, I would say Shield Wyatt family. That was such an incredible feud. But I don't know does that really count to say that his best match was like as part of that kind of a faction thing? I'm not sure. If it doesn't, then looking at this list, looking at this list, I would probably say maybe Bray Bryan at Royal Rumble 2014. That was really good. It was a really good match. And obviously it's all part of the Bryan build into WrestleMania 30 as well. So it's such an exciting time. So, yeah, some good stuff. There's been some good stuff. Good matches. This is why I'm so desperate for him to have good matches, because he has had good matches. And I kind of feel like a very good, very promising wrestler has kind of been took away from us. Character's important, promos are important, but there has to come a point where you got to also do it in the ring. And certainly because, like, I put a lot on in ring. Not everything. I've said I was a big Warrior fan, and his in-ring was atrocious. But, yeah, we haven't seen enough matches from him. So hopefully he gets better, comes back, gets going, gets a feud going, get some good matches. I'm amazed that I'm still streaming as well, yes. I'm seeing people going, you're still streaming? I didn't mention that on purpose. Cena winning sucked, but the match was actually pretty good, says Austin. Fair play. Bray as Sister Abigail, definitely the best. What the heck were they thinking? That's true, yeah. His match that he was meant to have against Finn, and then it fell through, didn't it? 'Cause I think he was ill, and we ended up getting AJ Finn instead. Isn't it weird to think, what would that have been? I've not ever heard about what the plans were for that. Was Bray going to come down dressed as Sister Abigail? Because we got as far as getting that very famous promo, of course, where he is. But we never got as far as him walking down dressed as her. I'd be interested to know what the plan was there. Daisy, you told me not to laugh at your hair, but I did. Oh, why, Johnny, why? I think that this Fiend is better than what he was, says Nelson. Junior McClellan said, what do you think Roman's best match was as Universal Champ? How many times has he been Universal Champ? I don't know. I must admit, Roman has had great matches. He is very capable of putting on great matches. But I've never been as engaged in him as what I am right now with this heel turn. So, he had an incredible match with AJ Styles that comes to mind. I think Roman AJ, but I don't know if that was for the Universal. It was like when AJ kind of first came in. I remember, was it 2016? There was a main event of one of the pay-per-views that's Roman AJ. I remember the match being incredible. So that comes to mind. But I don't know if that's for the Universal. Roman versus Edge versus Bryan, or Roman versus Owens at TLC. Sister Bray versus Pumpkin Demon. Yes. He was orange, wasn't he? Yeah, it was weird. Fiend needs some wins. That was for the WWE title. Oh, damn it. So close yet so far. So close yet so far. Honestly, I would have to Google it. We're trying to go back through my memory and trying to remember what was a WWE title match, what was a Universal title match. I'm going to struggle. I can't say I was ever really into the Roman Brock matches. And I think maybe, I don't know, were some of them for the Universal? I wouldn't really go for those, to be honest. I like your shout, actually. The one against Owens at TLC. Excellent. Ant says, Roman is better as a heel, but he was loved more as a face. Right, I think we're about done anyway. Like, we've stuck around well past what I was expecting, but we had quite an interesting conversation there, touching on a few separate subjects, talking about the state of Raw, talking about the state of the Fiend, talking about NXT, and what we saw tonight and what we thought. And obviously there is no AEW tomorrow, but I'm fairly confident. Again, still 99% sure we're going to do that football thing. So if you're around, if you're interested, drop by, say hello. I don't really care what we talk about. It's literally because if we don't do that, I have no idea what we would do. I would probably have to try and do a video of some kind, but I haven't really been given that any thought, to be honest. I'm so used now to getting up, setting up streams, and just being in that kind of a mindset that the idea of having a Wednesday where we don't have AEW is kind of really throwing me off. But, of course, we will have it on Friday, straight after SmackDown, so the SmackDown stream will be a bit longer. And then, of course, we've got Double or Nothing this weekend, so even though there's no UFC... Everyone, what's going on? Everyone's having a break? AEW are having a little rest. UFC are having a little rest. But there's no rest here. There's no rest here. We carry on. So we will be back tomorrow with the football. And I'm quite happy to talk about whatever. I'm sure there'll be some news in the wrestling world we can throw around. And then, of course, on Friday in particular, SmackDown and AEW. Thursday, a very interesting wrestling. That Wrestling Escape Pod. Probably the most anticipated Wrestling Escape Pod ever. We're going to find out what Tommy has been up to and on his dating antics. Apparently talking to some Star Wars female podcaster now, which we might be welcoming. Guys, we might be welcoming someone else to our universe. We might be getting, like, a princess might be joining us. I don't know. So I'm very excited to find out more about that. So that's Thursday. Unmissable. Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Really appreciate the support as always. Hope you enjoyed NXT and had a good evening. And hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.